One. All right, we're back, everyone, from our short little potty bake.
Yeah.
Tad, you got something to say about these bad boys.
Well, it's just like I was saying before when, let's say, like, a white guy goes somewhere where...
Hold on, why's it got to be a white guy?
Well,
Because
okay.
this is part of the story.
No,
Okay,
a
it's part
white
of the
guy
story.
or a black guy. Let's say a white guy or a black guy goes to China, goes to Japan, and there's no people like them, and women want them because they're different. There's not many bad boys. Women get simps and good guys always hitting on them. But when there's like a challenge, I feel like that's part of the reason why they like them, because they're different. Like, I can't control this guy. I want to change him, like you guys said.
Yeah,
they're
absolutely.
different. Like that, it's just different. It's something exciting, drama, passion.
Yeah.
It's inconsistency,
Yeah.
But it's not.
Yep. It's not knowing what's going to happen.
I feel like that's more attractive when you're younger, though.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like, girls
After-
like the guy who's always, like, in some drama, getting in trouble. That fun, fast-paced, like, lifestyle
Yeah.
is really attractive for women.
Because I think that's
and
what we
people.
want to pursue, too. Like, we want our freedom.
You want an exciting life, too.
And now we're looking for stability, and that's sure as fuck not what I'm looking for anymore. Like, I don't want to have to fix... No. I don't want to have to fix anybody anymore. Like, I've played mom. I've, taken care of a man, taught him how to be...
A man?
A decent human. And
you also date young men.
I also date...
Hold on, but
why-
I'm dating an older woman.
Yeah.
But it was the first time I've ever dated older.
That's been a huge benefit.
And it's been
for
a
you,
huge
by the way, I
benefit,
think.
probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, she's probably.
But I think she's had benefits, though, too.
I'm sure,
I
but
think
like
so, yeah.
maybe you more.
Right.
But she's probably at the point where, like, I know what I want.
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely. She's not going to put up with stuff,
yeah.
And that structure is nice, too, sometimes. That
Some-
makes you feel
some-
safe.
One thing I value now about the relationship is I feel like she makes me a better man. And I feel like I make her a better woman. But in my past relationships, like, that's something that I didn't value. I didn't value my partner, like, bringing out the best in me.
Right.
No. I feel like you want to take advantage of that when you're younger because
Yeah.
you're like, hell yeah, look at this shit. Like, look at me, I'm fucking doing it. And But most of the time it's because of that female, like, bringing that structure into your life. It's not you.
I think that's when you, like, mature, when you're like, I just want peace,
Yeah, you just don't want
I want to come
chaos
home
anymore.
and have peace.
Yeah.
I want someone that compliments me
Yeah.
so we can grow together and accomplish things.
Yeah.
After a while, that drama and craziness, it gets old. Even though, like, I had a saying, the crazier she is, the better she is in bed. Like,
Of
that,
course.
that was just
Yeah,
something like,
it's to
You know?
compensate. The bigger the asshole, probably the bigger the dick. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's like it's like they can get away with certain things because they know they're good at other things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like you were saying that when we were talking, like, you can teach someone, and after a while, when you're in a real deep emotional relationship, I just think, like, me personally, I think that's better sex. And
Right.
love.
When you can look into the
Yeah.
eyes of that person and, like, maintain that eye contact and really be in that moment with somebody, that's when you know you found somebody that's really, like...
See into the
No
soul.
pun intended.
I got a question that's kind of, like, leads up into that. Like, when I was younger, I used to think the first time having sex with a woman was, like, the most important time. Like, that was your chance, like, as a guy, like... that's your opportunity to prove yourself. Like, if you perform well, she's gonna want to be with you for the rest of her life. Like, she's gonna fall in love with you instantly. And if you perform bad, she's not gonna respond to your texts anymore. Leave your message on red and your balls on blue.
I have to say something
Like,
about
that's I'm saying, like, when I was younger,
Yeah.
that's how I used to feel. Like, if it was about to go down the first time, I was like, this is my 8 Mile moment.
I just have to say something on this. I felt the same way, but when I was younger, I felt the same way, but I had different motivations. I'd be like, man, you put it down on her, all her friends will want to fuck you.
That's true, because they talk about, man,
It's true.
Dad, he
It's
made
happened
me
to
come
me.
3 times last time, and then other women hear
Sometimes
that.
you become off limits to all of them too.
Well, that ain't happened with me
If they're
because
good
I've had
friends,
girls.
maybe.
They'd tell me, like, I heard what you did with so and so. I was like,
Right.
oh, really? Maybe you should find out. Like that.
That makes sense.
You
yeah.
you come on. If you had a friend as they're talking about this dude, he's like, man,
No.
he put it down, you know.
I would never fuck. Okay, we have never fucked the same person ever
No,
before.
never.
Doesn't mean it had to been that friend.
I don't know. I don't really want my friends.
I'm talking about when you were
recycled.
younger.
No.
I really don't think so.
What he's asking you is, have you ever been turned on by a woman and said, "Hey, this guy is really good," and then you're like, "Let me try it out." That's really the question. Has that ever happened? Like where you've heard about a guy and you're like, "Oh,"
And then you see that guy at a party later on,
you're like-
and then you're thinking like, man, fuck it.
that's the question.
I don't
That's
know,
what it
Yeah,
is.
to
Brittany was
me-
just telling me about how big his dick was.
I mean, yeah, maybe, but like also,
Maybe or yes or no. Come on, be real.
no, because it's more than that.
Then
Like,
why do you
it
say
can't
maybe?
just-
Why do you say maybe?
It just depends. Like maybe I'm ovulating, and so it doesn't really matter.
What are you talking about? It's either yes or no. Either you've been in that experience and you're like, I heard about this guy. Yes, I'm kind of interested and want to find out. Or no, that's never happened to me.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess that has happened to me.
Okay,
yes.
see?
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Keep it real.
But that wasn't like the main thing driving it.
I'm not
I
saying
guess.
that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying you just admitted that you had an interest.
Yeah,
though.
but I think most people, like most girls, maybe wouldn't prefer to hear that from a different person. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
Like,
know. Like
okay,
I'm
for
sure
you
girls
two-
have their
I don't know.
girl talk like guys have their guy talk.
Let me ask you, for you two,
But,
like,
like,
how
sharing
important
guys
is
is
sex,
different.
like,
Yeah.
at least at first?
I don't know.
When you first get in a relationship with that person.
Generally, I can probably tell it's going to be like a good long-term partner if like they're really nervous. And, like usually it's not super good the first time if I know that they're going to be a good long-term partner.
Really? So,
Yeah.
that
Like they're nervous,
the
like
math thing
something.
equals out. They come in 2 minutes. The faster they come,
Something
the
where
better,
they
the
can't
better
get it
board
up.
partner
I've had that
they're gonna
several
be. Like the
Which
longer
is,
they
like,
last,
obviously, then I'm like, is it me? But
yeah,
like, I don't know.
the longer they last, the bigger piece of shit they are.
Yeah, like you. Yeah, yeah. That's like offensive. No, I'm kidding.
No.
No, but like, I don't know. I feel like I've always had really good sex too. I think it's probably just me. I don't know. You
Yeah.
can teach anybody to do it the right way,
Yeah.
and also
But
like,
not everyone learns, though. I've talked
No,
to
but,
people
like,
that
some
who have
people-
tried to do the teaching thing, and
Yeah.
it just doesn't
Some
work.
people
like,
have a
and I
harder
don't think
time
there's
coming,
anything.
though, too.
There's nothing wrong with
And I
wanting to have good sex, like in a relationship. For me, like
well, no, that's a
I couldn't
fulfilling part of
personally-
it for
I-
sure.
I
but
couldn't
like,
be,
it's not.
I couldn't
Right.
be in a long-term relationship with someone I didn't have chemistry with, like in the bedroom.
Right. But
Well,
And
like,
I don't
no,
think
that
that's
would be
there's
gross.
anything wrong with
that's
that
the
either.
thing,
No,
though,
no,
is
no.
it's
It's
the
either they're-
chemistry because you can be the best fucker, having sexer in the world,
I like that one.
Have the haver of sex.
and if you're not with somebody that you connect with, it doesn't matter. You can.
So you're telling me you've had the best sex with someone that you didn't have no chemistry with? I don't see
No,
how
I'm
that
saying
happens.
I'm saying you can be really great at sex and have shitty chemistry with somebody, and it just doesn't work out. You know.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what your skills are like
be a
in the
stranger.
bedroom. If you have that connection, is really what matters.
But I feel like if you don't have chemistry and you're having sex with a person, I don't think they can be that good if
It
you don't
mi-
have the chemistry. At
don't
least
know.
some kind of chemistry.
I don't know.
Well, okay, like chemistry, as in like you saw each other from across the bar.
But that don't mean shit in bed, you know?
All right.
You're saying
You're a
oh
Cant,
you're
and you don't
saying
have
oh
one night
hey
sta-
I saw you across the bar, you're hot.
Okay, did
and-
you
and
ever
we're
have-
having great sex, but there's no chemistry? I think when you
you-
have chemistry you have great sex.
I agree. I think the more you have,
But you can't
like,
force chemistry. You can't be
No.
good at
I
having
know,
chemistry.
but I'm saying like what I'm saying is like
So you either,
if you don't I'm saying I don't think you have great sex if you don't have chemistry.
sure, exactly.
what if
so you
they're a
can't
stranger?
be you can't be good at having sex technically.
But you still
Like,
have
you
to have
can know some
chemistry in the
shit.
bed.
But if you don't have that chemistry, you're never going to be good at sex with that person. So
what is chemistry? Like, maybe let's define that.
Yeah.
So, like for you,
I
what
like
is
that.
chemistry? Yeah, because that could mean something different to everybody. So maybe I'll Google that too.
I think for me would be like I have like some kind of connection, like we move the same. Like when it comes to sex, like our motions are, you know,
How can you tell that?
rhythmatic.
Well,
you can't
you-
you
like
can't tell.
from making out and stuff. You mean like when?
No,
you
I'm saying like when you get with it. But you can tell a lot when you make out with someone too.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Okay. That's.
I feel like when you orgasm at the same time, that's when you know you have chemistry with that person. Like that's when you know like your emotions and souls like really in sync with each other. Because it doesn't
that's a
happen. I feel
powerful
like it
moment.
doesn't happen very often. I mean, like fucking.
But that doesn't
exact
happen
same
very
time.
often on the first time you're having sex.
No, that's the thing. Chemistry is something you, like
But
you find out later because it gets like evolved into. You know.
you can time yourself and then wait.
Not,
But that's like, but that to me, that's not chemistry
every-
because
what do you
that's intentional. That's like intentionally like holding it off.
What I'm saying is, like Emily agrees. You said you can tell a lot when you make out with someone, what kind of
Right.
chemistry you have.
yeah.
That's
But
spark.
that still doesn't
Yep.
mean it's going to be good in bed, but there's a
Right.
better chance
Right.
that
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
going to have better chemistry in bed.
right. Yeah.
You know, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you don't have that chemistry when you make out, if you
Okay.
don't have that chemistry when you have sex, then no matter how good the other person is, it's not going to be good because you don't have the
Exactly.
chemistry.
Yeah.
So it says that chemistry is the emotional connection between two people. So, or like, is that like kind of what you're getting at? That you kind of know them at a certain level where like you're vibing, like.
Kind of like you hear those frequency things, like
Yeah.
you're kind of on the same frequency.
Yeah.
But obviously, you're not going to be super emotional if it's like a stranger.
Well, right,
But
exactly.
you kind of know, like, are vibing.
Yeah,
like,
you're vibing. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And that chemistry can be built
I mean, I
up
guess
better.
yeah. You're not
know?
gonna have sex with a stranger either, unless you're vibing, probably. Right?
Well, it depends on
Yeah.
the person.
Well, I mean.
But I mean,
don't know.
well, someone could be like super horny.
Here,
and,
I
you know,
got a
say,
question
hey,
for everyone.
but-
What's like the soonest you've had sex with someone within like meeting them? Like shortest amount of time from like you met someone, now you're having sex with them. I think mine's within a day. That was back when I was doing the online dating. Matched with someone and then slept with them the next day.
You talking about like on
On
a
like
date?
Tinder?
Like
Yeah.
a one night stand or something.
Yeah, but we actually did have. We saw it. I mean, we never got in a committed relationship, but we were basically just like friends with benefits for like maybe a month. Like was not very long.
So you were talking before that?
No, like we matched one day, talked that one day,
Oh,
went
yeah.
out the next day,
Okay.
and then we slept with each other.
Okay.
That was the quickest I've ever gone from like meeting someone to like sleeping with them. So what's like your guys' like quickest? It's the quickest, the shortest amount of time that they're like from meeting that person to having sex with them.
Years and years and years ago. years ago.
4 and
Yeah.
7 years ago.
Yeah. About 6 hours maybe.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice,
Nice.
pretty quick.
That's yeah.
About the same amount for you.
You meet them when you're like going out,
Yeah.
and then like by the end
I
of
don't
the
think
night,
that
going
that's
home
that-
together.
Yeah,
Like
party.
that was in
Unusual,
college.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say hours.
Yeah,
Easily,
that's kind of
easily.
normal in college,
college,
and then
yeah.
you're
Especially if
drunk
you like
or whatever.
going to a bar
Yeah, yeah.
and it's like around midnight, 1 o'clock. All of a sudden you meet someone and say, hey man, after bar, come on over, let's have some fun. We're just gonna drink. And then the girl says, I never do this. I've heard that so many times on the first date.
You just have that impression on people, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I'm just wondering if girls say that a lot because I heard it so many times. I'm sure.
I don't
like,
say that.
You never say that if you hooked up with a guy on the first date. I don't normally do this. Oh.
I've done this a tons of times.
Yeah, I pretty
They don't
much.
say
Well,
that
no,
either.
This is a regular Saturday.
No, I
no,
just
I
be
don't know.
like,
I didn't say anything again.
Hey, I understand. You know, I understand. That's how I used to be.
Maybe they just feel bad. Yeah, they feel pretty bad about it. I don't know.
Maybe, but I think if they say that, I bet you like 8 out of 10 times they do that.
Yeah, if they're bringing it up, yeah.
Yeah.
you know.
Because it was never brought up in the first place. That's a,
Yeah, 'cause I
people
don't
tell
be like,
on
hey, you
themselves.
know.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
See,
yeah, I agree.
What I want to know is why women care so much about astrology signs nowadays. Like this is bigger when in the online dating world, and like I would match with girls, and the first thing they would ask me is like what date and time
Aren't
I
you a
was born.
Taurus?
I am a Taurus.
Yeah.
They would ask me what date and time I was born. and they would then make their
May
decisions.
6th or 7th?
Yeah, it was the 6th.
Oh, same as my mom, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yep.
I remember now.
Yep.
But yeah, the whole astrology thing and figuring out like what if this person is going to be a good match for you. The reason I think it's so popular in the first place is because people don't actually know what they want, and astrology is
Looking
helping
for
them
answers.
tell them what they
Yeah.
want. The Virgo is the perfect match for you.
I think we want excuses too when
Yeah.
things
And we're
don't work out.
egocentric. We like
Yep.
to hear
But
about
see,
ourselves.
what I don't like though is
so-
when like they use it as an excuse to be a shitty person. Well, I'm
Yeah.
a Scorpio, so that's how I am.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, oh, because I'm this sign. This is why I cheat on you. This is why I lie to you. Or this is
Yeah.
basically an excuse for my flaws and my inappropriate behavior because of my astrology.
The flip
sign.
side of that is that I can probably identify that in somebody's chart if they struggle with
Yeah.
those things. If they struggle with fidelity, if they struggle with
Emily's
lying and
actually an
being
encyclopedia
manipulative.
for this shit.
Yeah, I
She's
know.
so
What sign
good.
am I?
I don't know.
Okay.
Tell me some key things about you.
Ask a question. Because the reason why I said that
How
is
You're a
organized
Leo.
are
the stuff I
you?
might
When's your
tell
birthday?
her.
Okay,
tell her it might not be relevant because I was gonna say I like to play the piano. She's gonna be like,
Okay, that's
all.
fine. That's good to know.
No. The reason why I wasn't gonna just I wasn't being a jerk. I'm not trying to
No, I know.
withhold. I don't know how to.
It's okay. Get Bella over here. Bella, you better lay down. Next time I just gotta get a microphone for Bella. Or at least get a camera shot on her.
Okay.
Okay, what's your question?
How organized are you?
Ooh, it's a good one.
About a C plus,
Okay.
Okay.
How competitive are you?
A plus.
A plus.
Do you see both sides of everything?
I have to. Rational deduction is my middle language. I have to Was it before? No.
Do you talk in your head to yourself all the time?
No.
You were born in December.
she doesn't know. I don't really know either. Let me see.
Because this is
Are you-
this is
let me
interesting.
ask you.
This is
Are
interesting.
you a Gemini?
No, I got a good
No,
one.
I was gonna say maybe a Libra, but like
This is interesting because what I was searching for are what are the questions that align with somebody trying to figure out what sign you are without asking. That's why I wanted you.
How stubborn are you?
About a B.
B.
I would say either an Aries or a Libra, but like I'm not really sure.
What are
It
you?
could be so many different things.
Do you know what you are?
Yeah.
What are you?
I'm a Christian.
Damn.
God created the stars too, you know, and actually the wise men
We are
followed
stars.
them to
We
get
are
to
literally
Jesus.
made out of stardust.
Hey, I'm at liberty to have jokes too. I am born August 10th.
Okay.
So what does that make him?
Is he a Virgo?
No, he's a Leo.
Literally, that was the
Right.
first thing that I said.
Did you?
Yes, that's the first thing I said.
You didn't say that.
I did.
She's a Leo
Did you?
moon and a Leo rising, so you can
I
probably
got a pretty
recognize
heavy
that in other
Leo
people.
chart.
Can I ask what are the traits that come with a Leo? Not that.
You love to look at yourself.
so I would love. I don't like to tell anybody
you're
that
pretty.
much based off just their sun sign because that was okay. So like a long time ago, astrology started gaining popularity too again, and a lot of people don't know their birth time, and so you can't know your rising sign then because that changes every 2 hours because that's where the sun hits the earth when you were born. So that sets your chart. So you have 12 houses. There's 12 signs, 12 houses. So
Get
wherever.
close to the mic there.
Oh,
There
huh?
you go. Yeah.
Yep. So like wherever, like whatever time you were born, it was under a certain sign, and then your whole entire chart goes off of that. And every house is about something different. Like the first house is the house of self. It's ruled by Aries, which starts the zodiac. So
So there's a possibility I'm not even a Leo.
there's
Yeah.
a possibility that
You don't show Leo
act like a
traits.
Leo at all, and you don't present like a Leo at all. There's you
It's
might
way more
too.
complex than
Because-
Just saying,
just
you're a
yeah.
Yeah,
But, like-
so
and
much
that's why
more
people
complex
can't
to
be
that.
like, "Oh, you're a Virgo. I'm not gonna mesh with you." It's
Right.
like, yeah, I'm dating an Aquarius and I'm a Cancer, and that's like a no go. And my best
Yeah,
friend's a
I read
Gemini,
that.
and I'm a Cancer. I love air signs
Yeah.
because I don't have air in my chart at all. It like balances me out, but like you can't just base it off the sun sign.
So like I'm a Gemini, but like my moon sign and my rising
Yeah.
are both Leos. So that's how I project myself to the people around me and how I see myself inwardly.
Yeah.
So if I'm projecting as a Leo and I'm seeing myself inwardly as a Leo, then that would generally mean that I identify more as a Leo than a Gemini.
That's crazy.
My problem
Whatever your
with it
rising
is
sign
that
is.
it's not absolute. So
No.
so
It changes.
it has different variables
Well,
to
listen to this. So you're born at a specific time, but everything keeps moving, right? We're not like locked into space. We're moving all the time. So you have a natal chart, that's when you were born. You have a progress chart, that's who you are now. And then you'll have a progress chart when you're older too. You keep changing. So like I was born a Cancer, now I've progressed into a Leo. I had a Scorpio rising before, now it's progressed into Sagittarius. So I'm displaying different things because as I'm growing, I'm changing a little bit. I'm the same person really, but like I keep changing over time, and so does everybody else. And that's just like a blueprint for what might come up in your life. Like it even in my chart predicted that like I would probably have an early death of a loved one, and my mom died at 27. During my Saturn return, which is when a lot of people hit a pivotal time in their life, like Kanye West, his mom died around his Saturn return.
Your mom was 27 or you were 27?
I was 27. So it's just, yeah. But like, so there, you can, it's just kind of like a map, but it's never an excuse to like be a bad person. It's really just to gain insight. But I try not to like look at the horoscopes because,
Yeah, they're just bullshit.
well, they don't, you should always look for your rising sign, but then there's also like things that predict the next few years. I don't like them because I don't want to know, because it gives me anxiety. Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're not. I'm really into end times prophecies too. I love that stuff because my mom was really into that. She was super Christian. I was raised Christian, but I'm not really anymore. I'm more Gnostic. But I still believe a lot of the things that are going to happen with that stuff. So, and astrology kind of help like predicts that stuff too.
Do you believe Jesus was an actual man that lived and died?
Yeah.
You believe that?
I believe he was an actual person.
Okay, okay. Mm-hmm. Do you believe that there's like really a place called Egypt and Israel is real?
Like on a map?
Yeah.
Yeah. Egypt's in Africa.
Okay.
Yeah, I know exactly where that. Yeah, no, I'm really interested in all the history of like even Africa too, because like the oldest Bible is from Ethiopia, and it had so many extra books in it. There's so many things that were left out, especially by the Catholics. But like Mary Magdalene like was seen as a prostitute. Like I've been reading things like the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, which was left out of the Bible, and it talks about how she was actually one of Jesus's most loved disciples, and the reason why she was called a prostitute is because she
Had a high body count.
yeah, she had a high body count. So, you know, and that's not fair to say. No, I'm kidding. No, but Jesus taught her like a lot of the spiritual kind of out of this world teachings, and a few of the disciples, the ones primarily that started the Catholic Church, really didn't like what she was saying. So they sort of just like tarnished her name. Maybe she did have sex a lot. Who knows?
So like
but like apparently she wasn't just a prostitute. Like that actually wasn't really who she was.
like the Book of Enoch?
Yeah, the Book of Enoch. That's a good one.
The Apocrypha is what you're talking about with the
Yeah.
know.
I didn't know the name for it, but yeah.
Interesting.
The problem, I wouldn't even say the problem, the concerning factors that it brings is that the Bible has consistency with history. And it aligns with history.
Yeah.
And what has happened with Christianity, we have ran a lot of people away because we used the Bible to do bad things out of context.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
And it says it'll happen.
it does.
Yeah.
It does. We've took Christianity and we've made it this thing that people are repelled by and disconnected from because of what has happened with slavery, the Holocaust. The humanity's worst falls have been scripture out of context.
Or translated wrong, or they didn't even have the same words in Hebrew that they did in English. Like all those things.
There's so many variables.
Yeah,
But the message of Jesus Christ still stays the same.
right.
He lived, died, and was resurrected. And
I don't know if I believe in the resurrection anymore.
You don't believe in the? Okay.
I don't know
So
from what I'm reading.
okay. Are you reading? Do you have a commentary with what you're reading?
Well, so I'm really into Gnosticism now,
Yes.
which is, you know,
It's where you have a divine notion to know
Yeah,
something.
but like it's also like delving into like that God who Christians worship isn't the real God, and Satan who like Christians like demonize is actually the real God. But I'm not like really into that necessarily, but like that really interests me because I'm like, like what if? And then I don't know. So there's a whole bunch of different things it gets into, but yeah, it's mostly into believing that there is something there and that it's all inside of you. Because Jesus did also say that, like, look inward to find everything. And what they're finding with science even is that at a cellular level, like we replicate the universe out in space. Like it's just like a Russian dressing or nesting doll. It's like the same.
We're made of the same energy that the stars are made of. We're
And the same
an atom. We are constantly changing
carbon,
shapes.
nitrogen, all those things, like all the same stuff. And it's just like
The Bible defies science, but science doesn't define the Bible.
the Bible and science kind of go together. Like
really
if
do.
you use your discernment, which Jesus also said was super
Depends on what kind of
important,
science you're looking
important
at.
to use your discernment.
If
I got a
Which-
question for both of you, and this ties in both to like science and Bible, and that's like, how old do you think the Earth is? Because science says it's
Way older.
I think
Like-
it's
than the
never,
Bible.
it
'Cause
doesn't
sci-
have a beginning or an end.
yeah,
I
because
think
science
it just
says
has
it's
always
like
been.
because they dig up rocks off the ground and
Well,
cut
we-
into them. They're like, oh, it's 2 billion years
I
old.
think
whatever.
it depends
Well,
where
like-
you look on
yeah,
the Earth.
Like how old is the Earth according to the Bible?
6,000 years.
6,000 years. So when they get those rocks and stuff, the machines and stuff have a certain bias to certain soils. So those certain soils, depending on how much lighting it has or has not had or what water has touched it, could tell that it's been 1 billion years old. Then there is lighting and water and soil that can tell that it's new and that it's 4 days old. So that broad spectrum, I think when we get into all of that, it makes us more divided. I think humanity is an amazing thing when we're united.
Yeah.
When we can look at people, I got Muslim brothers, I got Hindu brothers, I got guys that are Jewish rabbis, and I don't forfeit a relationship because they don't believe the same as me.
It's the same premise at the end of the day, too.
It's a little
A
bit
lot of the- I mean,
different. I think it's a
similarities.
little bit different.
There's a lot
But
of
when we
similarities, tons.
embrace relationship with people that don't believe like we believe, humanity evolves.
Yep.
And I think as long as we reject people and not have these conversations, Christianity is going to be diminished with a fear of not knowing. I think the beneficial things of having Muslim friends is they understand Eastern philosophy. We read the Bible from a Western philosophy, and that's how we make air. And so I value what people want to know, but when we put all how old is the earth is, the main point is humanity is God's creation, and He loves us all. And once we use that vehicle to move forward, I think we'll be all right. And I'm not trying to alleviate having a conversation about how old this world is, but I think let's keep the main thing. Everybody that God created has value and has a purpose on their life. And if we use that message, humanity is united.
I will say one thing. It could be, so I don't know if you guys have heard of the theory about Theia. It was a different planet running into the Earth and actually helping like create our moons. But like, it could be that like something much older than us ran into the Earth at one time. And so sometimes depending on where you're digging up rocks that you might, it might not be a good representation of actually the Earth's stuff. It could just be
Right.
like leftovers
I
from
do-
something that hit
Not
us.
that either.
I do know the
Look it up
oldest
sometime, it's
tombs.
interesting.
I know the oldest fossils of bones and stuff go back to 6,000 years when they find the Ethiopian skeletons and stuff like that. It goes back that far, so that's sells a bigger argument like creation happened. But the Bible talks about dinosaurs and things like that, and you
It
just
could have happened way
yeah.
faster than people
Yeah.
think too.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I feel like we only know as much as like science informs us about and what we can, rationally think up in our head. But like, I don't necessarily believe that all science is accurate and correct. Like, I
always
think
changing.
that
That's
how
it's
I think- I
always
feel too,
changing.
because-
It's always
and
changing.
We have so much really interesting science coming about, like as far as quantum physics, and
It's proving God does exist.
and it's proving
Some
that God
form.
is inside of us, and we have this consciousness power.
It like goes through us and it's in everything.
to manipulate our reality at any moment. And I think that, I wasn't necessarily religious. I have a Bible study with my senior living facility that I put on, but like it really coincides with the way that I feel about spirituality in a different way. Like what I call God and what you call God are probably the same thing, but I don't necessarily like visualize him in the same way that Christianity does. Now my brain went off topic, so
That's all good. I want to paint something like science can prove that there's a God, but I feel like it's actually done the opposite. And I feel like atheism started because of science.
Oh, for
actually.
sure it did. But like, have you
in
been keeping
science-
up on the science though? Like
no,
the newest science?
No, I haven't. But like most
It's
people
really
don't.
interesting.
Though. Like,
yeah,
and
but
I
it's
feel
so
like-
interesting.
And most people like they think they're smarter than you because they use science to like disprove God's existence.
But science works on time, space, and matter, and things that. So science has to be able to be duplicated. So in other words, you would basically say you get nothing from something when that is not science. You can't get nothing from something. There has to be an intelligent being behind creation. So science would say it just is, with so much variable and ambiguity. You can't get nothing out of something. It has to be time, space, and matter. And we have all that with God in the beginning. That's time. God created, that's space, that matter, the heavens and the earth. We have all those things all in one. But I think at the end of the day, people don't really disagree with a God. I think what religion has done is turn people off with the judgment and the ridicule for lifestyles.
Yeah.
Because in order to say there's no God or there's no creator or there's no Jesus Christ, that person, that individual has to be adhering to and subscribing to saying that they're smarter than Yale, Harvard, all those Ivy League schools that has research, Israel, Egypt, its origins, the Moses coming out of getting the Israelites into the promised land. That has been researched. That has been checked with archaeological evidence that that's true. We can look at the what is it called? The pyramids with that message on the walls and date with archaeological evidence with time that it's consistent. And so I think that we don't like religion because it's judgmental. It shuns people. It tells you can't do that. Oh, you're bad because you did that. And you're not good. And now
Or it's corrupted.
It's corrupted.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to see what Bill Cosby did off subject. People didn't know him. But what happened with Bill Cosby, people were mad that he was the father of what he stood for. Honesty, good, legit income, a father. And our father does something like
Pudding
that.
pops.
That image just hurt a lot of people. That's why he took so much ridicule, because he was saw in a certain image.
Yep.
Same with what's going on. The church is supposed to be this thing that it makes air in with loving people, not judging, like not embracing people where they're at, going on a journey, and causing all this division. And so that's when people say not religious. Everybody's religious, because religious, its origins just mean order. We brush our teeth every day. We bathe every day, most of us, in order. We work out every day. That's all that word religion means, something in order, in unison. So we all have some religious aspects that we do something like go eat, walk our dog, something every day with a consistent measure to it.
Yeah, rituals. Yeah.
Ritual. And so I love having this dialogue just to see how bad the church is here, so we can have a solution of fixing it. We can build relationships. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, I'll be honest, when he introduced me as Pastor Joe, I saw your body language like, oh God.
She
Oh,
knew.
no.
I was excited.
No, I'm
knew the
excited
pastor.
because I grew up very, very Christian. I had never met somebody that didn't believe in God until I went to college. I'm from a town of
Yeah.
like 2,000 people.
Well, that's all. But so forgive me because I misread you.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Forgive me.
I was
made error.
excited because I was like, okay, especially because now I've been getting into Gnosticism and I don't know much about it actually yet, but like,
Dude, we could do a whole podcast.
yeah,
we
just
should
on,
do
like,
a different
Let's
one
get
on religion.
let's get back to the
Let's
dating
go back
stuff.
to the other
Thank
stuff.
you guys for
Yeah,
Of course.
That was good fun.
Good job.
Well, I want to ask something that's people listening to this might be upset, and that's how society now accepts just overweight, and you go.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
You go, girl.
you go, girl. Be overweight. Have a loud
Smelly.
mouth. Be smelly. Like
Obnoxious.
You
Smelly, that's
like,
never been.
No, my whole point is like
Go, girl.
society. Like
Do
That's
you.
never been
we
okay.
Live your best life.
We're at a point right
Oh, I
now
know,
where
yeah.
it's you do you, girl, and if he doesn't accept you for who you are, he's a piece of shit. He's a bigot. He's all
Yeah.
these things.
Yeah.
Like
I think it's just like masking our reality for these people. Like, you're just like kind of, if that's who you are, if you're fat and you're smelly, like,
Take a shower.
that's who you are. And I'm not going to shit on you
But
we'll
see,
shit
I
on
feel like
you
you-
behind your back probably a
but
little bit.
isn't that
but-
even worse though?
Have you
'Cause,
guys
like,
ever been out with a girl and one of the girls had bad hygiene and you all had to tell her?
No.
You don't. Y'all.
I just want to hang out with them.
Yeah, no. But I think it's just a matter of like being inclusive of people and
Not the
like
smelly ones.
not shitting
kidding.
on people anymore. I think we're trying to be a little bit nicer and like show some love to people.
Yeah.
But like,
Because they're fat?
a guy's not a piece of shit for
Well,
not
'cause you
wanting
never
that.
know.
But
Yeah. I mean-
if I'm gonna see you and you're sad about this, I'll say that. Yeah, he's
Here's
a piece
what
of
I've
shit.
said, like with the weight issue specifically, like you should always have confidence. Like I
Yeah,
had
absolutely.
very low confidence in my physical like appearance, and it like affected who I was like as a person.
Yeah.
So like yes,
when you
even,
got people coming at you for that
Yeah.
shit on top of
Yeah.
you already feeling bad, it
That's
doesn't
awful.
help.
but I'm saying like, okay, my whole point is that like you should remain confident, but I'm not going to subscribe to like being overweight is a healthy way to live your
No.
life.
I also
It's
don't
not.
think
Time.
that it's fair of them to say like we're being fat phobic because we're acting a certain way.
You're allowed to have preferences.
You're
Yeah.
allowed to be fat and I'm allowed to have preferences. I mean,
Yep.
I've put on 30 pounds in the last 2 years and I have struggled with that and I want to love my body the way that it is now, but also do I expect everyone else to love my body the way that it is now? I don't give a shit, and that's where the power aspect comes into it is you don't have to care what other people think. And if somebody doesn't want you the way that you are, then fuck them. And that's the way that it is. Why should you want that person?
I
But
feel
it
like they
doesn't make
take it
them
to
an
an
asshole.
extreme though. Like
Yeah.
they're like, oh fuck
Probably
if
'cause
they don't
they're
want me
hurt.
the way I is, I'm gonna get as big as I fucking possibly
Yeah,
can.
because they
That's
feel
weird.
bad. It feels bad to be rejected.
Yeah.
So of course that's their defense mechanism, especially because they do feel probably really bad. You know what I mean? Like the bigger the protest, probably the bigger the feelings, the bigger
Yeah.
the insecurity. So like I think it makes sense that people mask it with that, and like the reality is like, yeah, love yourself for who you are, but like also like
Be a realist. at
well,
the
and
same
you should be
time.
trying to
Like,
remain healthy and independent. Like I take care of a lot of older people, and some of them aren't that old. They're like in their 60s, and
Yeah.
they just did not take care of themselves at all, and they're all severely overweight and have congestive heart failure or, breathing problems, whatever it is. And it's like I think part of loving yourself that you're missing out on if you're just like. I'm not going to just say overweight, but if you're just unhealthy and doing absolutely nothing to help yourself and like you're noticing it, like you're not loving yourself if you're not doing
Taking care of
something about it.
yourself,
Like
yeah.
stretch,
Yeah.
do anything. I don't care. I literally work out in my house and do pretty much nothing, but like stretching has saved my life.
for sure.
Well, I
Like
just-
there's just little tiny things that everybody could do, and it's like it's also kind of for the betterment of society because like we don't have enough people to take care of all these people.
Yeah.
And like being healthy is like the one thing that's gonna like ensure that you have a good long, like maybe not long life, but like that you enjoy life to the fullest. Like, and some people can be overweight and still be generally healthy. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that like, you're unhealthy if you're 30 pounds overweight or like whatever. But when you get into like the morbidly obese and you can't,
well,
you're
it's like hard to
limiting
actually like
yourself
walk
to-
up the stairs and shit.
Yeah,
like, once
yeah,
you get
like
to
when
that
it's
point,
making
like,
life really hard. But also
can't go
think
and do
about it.
Well, and when
Think
it's
about it.
affecting
You
the
feel
person
like-
that you're with also, because
Yeah.
that can also take a huge toll on somebody that you're dating when you're
because you become
when
their
you're
caregiver
unhappy
and
with
you're
yourself.
enabling it.
especially if they're skinny when you first
Right.
start getting a relationship with someone. Like,
Our
I
fit.
would feel like if I started to gain weight, I would expect my partner to say something, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I feel
like
like
if
it's
you're
so
attracted
hard,
to your
though.
like if you're attracted to your partner like initially, and you say they started going, you know, like whatever it's 10 pounds, whatever it's 20 pounds, whatever it's 30 pounds, but then like it gets to like 50 plus, you know, like starts where you really starting to like actually notice it, like.
Yeah, but they notice it too.
Yeah.
They might bring it up first anyway. You know what I mean? Like,
They might. But my whole point is like there shouldn't be like you should want to hold your partner to like those certain set of standards.
I feel like, but you're talking about. This is what I was thinking he was talking about, is how society's saying it's acceptable to be like, you know, that's what's
It is.
annoying.
No,
It's
it
like,
is. It
it's
is.
not acceptable.
It's
you know,
it's
It's just
like,
another way to
unhealthy.
create
It is
a
unhealthy.
dissonance
It really
against,
is.
like, with people. They're just trying to make us
Comfortable.
turn against each
Yeah.
other because we've got the people that are like, okay, we're gonna include you, but then there's the people that are like, okay, well, why should we have to change the way that we think and feel about something because to make you feel better? Like, just do what you want to do.
Yeah, well-
I shouldn't have to be all inclusive. Like, I don't care about you that much. Why does it even matter?
well, the reason I was saying this is because like there's you're talking about fat phobic.
Yeah.
Now I'm just gonna don't take this the wrong way, but I was like, let's say I want to date one of you girls, and you're like, I'm not attracted to a guy like me, you know. I'm not gonna think, oh, you know, you're this way because you know you might not just be attracted to
To
that
that individual.
type of look or
Yeah.
Okay.
or something, and
They're
it's
not
like,
into black guys.
well, I'm just saying in general,
dated
like
a
it,
black
it doesn't matter what I am.
American
shit.
guy.
But like
Talking shit.
some people aren't going to be attracted to other people.
Right.
It's
We
just
all
their
have our own
preference.
preferences.
You know.
So-
and they're trying to like force this.
They're trying to
body.
yeah.
What about
whatever it's called?
What
on
about this,
people and-
like, the airplane seats deal? Like, should we, be inclusive with the
Yeah.
with the airlines?
We're gonna have to be.
And because you're
Everything
so
needs to
fat,
be
you don't
bigger.
have to pay for 2 seats.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think-
everything's going to
status.
have to be made
I
bigger.
think what
That's
he
just
was
the
trying to get
unfortunate
at is
reality.
that this is, and tell me, correct me if I'm wrong, women can say, I don't want a guy that's not 5'8" or 5'10",
they can be picky. Yeah.
but then if a guy says, I don't want her to
Yep.
be,
Right.
Yeah. Women can be picky, but guys can't.
so if a guy got on his profile on his dating app and said, hey, I don't want her to be more than 65 kgs.
Yeah. And then we're like,
They
we
would get
want,
so much
you must
hate.
be 6'1" or higher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally a double
6'1",
standard.
6 pack,
Absolutely.
six figures.
But I think it's okay to have preferences too.
It's
I mean,
100%. Just as much as it's okay for you to be fat, it's okay for me to not want to date you because you're fat.
Yep.
Yeah, but
I like
but
that.
society's not that way
Fuck
right now.
society.
No,
dude.
I
Yeah.
mean, I think they're just
Well, I
trying to
don't
make
care either,
everybody
but-
feel good. I don't know if you've looked on like
They're
the
trying to make everybody
the
feel
World
good
Health
and bad at the
Organization.
same
They're
time. We got to
trying
feel bad for
They want
everything.
everybody to be happy. It's called happitalism,
Like-
and they want to complete this goal by like 2030, I believe.
What's it called?
Happitalism. It's the
Google
world-
it.
Yeah,
I
just
want to
go-
hear the
just-
definition of it.
Does it mean
But
what?
no, I've never heard of
just
it.
everybody's happy. It's almost like ignorance
Yeah.
is bliss. You know what I mean? And it's
So-
like you're only getting
but-
fed what like
Yeah.
reinforces your bias, and you're just like
Right.
comfortable and
Oh,
happy.
so
But
did-
like,
So
And
with
think-
the algorithm.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
about to say, think of
sort
like
of.
how much technology plays into that. Now,
It
like
really
everything
crazy
that
now.
you go on the internet, you have your own personal algorithm.
Yeah.
and it's weird that like we're so worried about like making everybody so comfortable. Like,
Confirmation bias. What you believe already, you're
Right.
going to get reinforced in.
yeah, it's really weird to me that we have this thing where everyone has to be super comfortable and nobody is allowed to experience any sort of like
Yeah.
discomfort
I think
nowadays.
that's a huge part of life is discomfort. Like,
Yeah.
you can't grow if you don't experience
it's
discomfort.
a new
Yeah.
economic paradigm.
I think everyone,
Capitalism over
yeah.
capitalism.
Well, I don't think it's helping society, honestly.
I don't think. I think it's just
Right.
Do you believe in like one's truth and like when people say my truth?
It's my
truth,
reality.
Yeah,
My
that's 100%. You
Sure,
create your
for
own
sure.
reality.
Absolutely, but
and that's
there's
why
shared-
I'll never see you the way that you see yourself inside your own head. Nobody that you ever meet will view you as the same person. You have so many different versions of yourself because every person that you meet has their own reality of you. So
But there's shared realities.
But that
too.
takes us down a
We
different
all,
path,
This is a table
though.
for
Like,
all of us. No matter
because-
how much you think it's not a table, this
That's
is a
what I
table.
mean. Okay,
Yeah,
so
we live in a physical
so-
reality. We all agreed before we got
Okay,
here.
so when we
to share
start talking about
certain-
things like
laws.
we don't have to get into this right now because this takes us down like a different path.
Yeah, this is a
but
different
things
rabbit
like,
hole.
but I just want to say something right now about this. Like when you start getting into the things about like, well, this is my truth, this is my reality, and you start like saying you are a part of a different gender than what you're born as, and then you start going into like, well, this is my truth, and you have to accept that. It
And
just
adhere to
it
it.
just spirals into just like this very like incoherent argument because my truth and your truth don't align.
Right.
And certain things like genders and other topics are like, to me, are objective. Like this is a table and this table is here. Is not objective to other people. So once you
Subjective?
get, my whole point is like once you start and get into the my truth thing, there's no sound.
Well, and that-
There's no like sound argument
they-
that can be made.
And anybody
for
can
it.
use that. People, you can use that for manipulation too.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
can.
but you
can use my truth for anything.
Yeah, you can just use that to cover up whatever your truth.
That's
but
why it's
but at the
dangerous.
end of the day, I think everybody deep down knows their actual truth.
Yeah.
My
And I
truth-
think it's
Whether
easy.
they
No,
wanna
the
admit-
truth or their truth?
The truth.
The truth
Yeah.
about
The
them,
The
Yeah.
truth.
pretty
Okay.
much.
My truth is you guys all have my money in your pockets.
Same.
Yep.
Right, exactly. See, you can use that. You can use that to do whatever you want. I mean,
money too.
but I also think
How about that?
Oh, that's right.
I think people should be able to live as ignorant as they want, as
Yeah,
long as it's not
absolutely.
affecting me necessarily. But I just think a lot of people also are very self-centered and like think they're a main character of whatever's going on, and it's like maybe just nobody cares
I
what the
like
fuck
how
you
you think.
are.
Really, I do. Like you.
We all think we're the main character. Come on.
I do
Absolutely,
think
as
I'm
you
the main
should.
character. I
You
don't
should
need to
think
shout
you're the
it.
main
I don't need to
character
shout
of
it,
your
but also
reality.
I'm a white woman who's straight, so like maybe I
You're
don't feel
white?
like- yeah,
Yeah.
of course I'm white.
You're a woman.
Hold on.
I'm a woman.
I got a
I
question.
Barely.
knew that part, but you're
Barely.
white.
Yeah, I'm Irish as fuck.
Okay. Because you're a white woman, do you feel like you can't speak about certain topics or social justice issues?
Absolutely, because I don't have that experience. I can speak from a different perspective, but like I feel like certain things parallel each other. Like I think racism and sexism parallel each other just the same as classism does too. And I think us fighting each other between those things is not productive for anybody. I think if we can realize that like we do have similarities in different types of struggles, that would be something that we could all build off each other with. But I do think, there's things I can't speak on because I haven't actually lived it, but I have lived in an area where they're so racist that I was the wrong type of white because I wasn't Norwegian or like Scandinavian. I was Irish, so I was seen as dirty.
Wow.
Yeah, so certain like residents would be like, "Don't help me," and I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
So then I sort of experienced it, but like I never experienced that on like a day to day. So that's different. Yeah, I feel like, I can listen and like do my best to advocate, but I can't actually always speak on that shit.
Speak on certain things.
Yeah, my job is to shut the fuck up and listen sometimes on those things.
Yeah.
Just like it's other people's job to shut
Yeah,
up and
Yeah.
listen to me
seriously.
too.
At certain times, it's always your job to shut the fuck up and listen. Especially in certain, like, even when you're in a relationship, you gotta know
Absolutely.
when,
It's
better
when your
to shut the
partner
fuck up
is
and
like
listen
all
sharing
the time.
something about their past with you and actually like being vulnerable with you.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've learned. Like, you don't always have to like provide a solution to someone.
Absolutely
You
not.
just need to shut the fuck up.
Unsolicited advice
Yeah, you
is
just
not
need to,
warranted.
You just need to shut the fuck up and listen.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's something us men need to get better at. That's something I've gotten better at.
They're
with
problem
age.
solvers. They don't like to feel uncomfortable or want something like unresolved or to see their woman struggling. I think that feels
Yeah.
like a failure to a lot of men to see their woman struggling.
It does.
And,
And a
so,
lot of, like, we feel like when you're opening up to us and like venting to us, they're like, you're looking for advice.
and there's
or
a lot of
problem.
pressure on
Like,
men to
that's the
fix the
problem.
problem.
Yeah.
Like, fix my tire, it's popped. Fix my sad emotions, I'm sad. Like,
So that's
Yeah, there's a
actually
big
like
difference.
a huge
But you know
problem
what?
with society,
A
though,
big problem
is
about that is?
What?
is the unsolicited
Let her
advice and listening, like
You're next.
receiving something instead of like trying to break it down and that's a huge thing on communication, is actually listening and
Yeah.
Not to
responding.
respond, just
Yep.
to actually absorb
Yeah.
that information.
The
I was
best
gonna say
talkers are also
about-
really good listeners.
He has to go next.
You go, Tad.
Oh, why? Thank you.
Yeah.
That was
But
very
I was
polite
gonna
of you.
say, like, yes, there's women that do what you say, and they want the
Do
man
what
that-
you say.
Not-
That's
not-
a trigger for a lot of
No,
women.
I meant like
Yeah.
how she was saying, like, be quiet, like,
triggered.
release your emotions or something. You want like advice,
Yeah.
but let's be honest. How many women actually really listen to that advice?
I don't. They
you
don't
know.
because they didn't probably ask for it.
Yeah.
Unless they're specifically asking for it, you can assume that they don't want it. Just like when you're venting, like you don't necessarily, like you're just. Let's say you're pissed off. Like the last thing you need is somebody being like, "Well, at least this is going all right," or like whatever. You're just like fucking pissed, and you need to throw something or punch. I mean, that's how I get sometimes. I don't always throw something, but like I'm like, I need to freak out, and that doesn't mean I need a solution. I just need to feel those
You need
emotions.
to get
and
it
let
out of your system.
Yeah, and it's okay. That's part of being human. Like,
Yeah.
I'm glad I can feel that because that means I can feel the whole spectrum of happiness too.
Well, I
right?
guess as you were saying though, as a man, you know, we usually are problem solvers. Like,
Yeah,
So
that's your
like if
job.
if
Yeah.
your partner's telling you something, it's just natural. It's like, well, okay, this is what I need to do.
Yep.
This is what I suggest you do so we can get this.
That's why
you
it's
know.
good to ask. Like, I guarantee any girl will love. Are you telling me just to vent, or do
Yeah.
you want help finding a solution? I'm
do
here
you-
for
what
you.
kind of support do
What
you
kind of
need in
support
this
are you
moment?
looking for? I
That's some good
guarantee
advice,
any,
actually.
Any girl's
Yeah.
going to.
I'll agree with that. Man.
Yeah, for sure.
But I guess like
And not just with a female, with your dude friends too. You can say, what kind
Absolutely.
of support can I offer you in this moment?
I-
Because people
that-
need different things.
That's a huge thing. I think men need to have better relationships with each other too.
That's one thing I'm grateful for. I feel like I have
Maybe
a
not
lot
you
of.
guys. Maybe you guys
yeah.
have good
Well, like me
relationships.
personally, I feel like I have a lot of relationships with the guys that like I can just like call and talk to. When like that's
That's
like
good.
that's seen as like a girl thing. Like
It
you fucking
is.
call your girlfriend while you're in the bathtub and shit.
Yeah.
You know, like I feel like I have that relationship with a lot of guys.
And that's good
Where, like I
because
can
that's,
just
like-
call them and talk to them about shit.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
with
fulfilling.
no
You
purpose.
need that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need that. You need somebody to vent to and not fix your problems and just like accept you for who you are and trust that you're gonna figure shit out too. Like, geez, we all have our stuff. When you all figure it out, we're all adults.
sometimes I think men have better relationships than women have.
Sometimes I do too.
Absolutely.
Because I can
Absolutely,
call
yeah.
a guy I haven't
That's why I
talked
don't
to in
have a lot
like
of
5
girlfriends.
years,
Yes.
and it's just like not a day has passed. You know.
That's how we are
Well,
too.
yeah.
But yeah, it's not
Well,
like that with
for
a
with-
lot of females.
yeah, that's what I was
I
gonna
mean,
ask.
it is
I will
hard to
say
have
that.
that kind of a relationship, and that's why when you find somebody that you can have that relationship with, you value that and you nurture that relationship with, because you don't find a good girlfriend like that often.
Guys
And
have
why,
a
why is that? I'm
little
just
more
wondering.
I think
accountability
a
too.
lot
It's a
of-
competition a lot of the time, I feel like.
Or I don't know, like I'm not super girly. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
You are more girly than me, maybe.
Absolutely
As
not.
a little kid, for sure.
As a little kid?
But
Yeah,
why,
like I
Yeah,
was
as
like
a little kid,
like, I
probably.
was
why
a
should it matter
tomboy.
if you're girly or not?
Well, no, because I'm just saying, like, I feel like she's more down to earth than some other women. Like, maybe some other women just
Yeah.
talk about, like, surface level stuff. I have stranger danger if I'm talking to
Do
anybody.
y'all wear
just-
heels?
No.
You don't wear heels.
I'm a tall girl.
You know
can't
what?
wear
I
heels.
hated
like a short
heels
guy,
until I
you know?
started I wore them to a wedding, and my legs are still paying for it because they dug into me. But like, it was fun to feel tall for a minute. Like, there's so much power with being a little bit taller. I'm only 5'3".
Do you feel powerful
Yeah,
for
but
these
she
men?
does. I
I-
would if I were her.
I don't like
She's
being this
5'8".
tall. I would like to be a little shorter, but I mean, I've never really like felt more powerful because I'm tall.
No,
but-
let me
But you
ask.
wouldn't know.
Let's get down to basics. Let's really get into this.
Okay.
When you were dating them short guys, did you feel like powerful?
No, I was like
More
why
powerful.
Are you so short? Like, come on.
Did you look
you
at-
just
felt
said it. You just
bigger.
said it
You're
right
like, I
there
don't like
by
that.
you
I felt
saying
like
that.
a fucking Shrek. Like, I hated it. I felt like
And you're not.
I felt like I needed to like fit myself down into this little like.
Did you feel like
I was always like shrinking myself down in some way, but
because you didn't feel like the person's more powerful than you?
I mean, I don't know if power came into it.
But
I just
kinda.
felt like, visually, I was like, oh, this doesn't look right. So I'm going to fit myself into this like tiny body that obviously my frame doesn't allow. And, you're constantly like worried about how you're being perceived. And that's not helpful.
No, yeah.
But why? I'm just wondering. Like, I have an idea, But why would a woman why does being a taller guy kind of be more attractive? I just want to know
You
the
want
honest
somebody
opinion.
that can like grab you and make you feel small. I think being a woman
Protect you, make you feel
and that
safe.
That's what
feminine
I thought.
energy,
Yeah.
you want to feel small.
I just want to
And
hear
if
it.
somebody's shorter than me, like, and they're a dude, they're like Prince. You know, they're 5'2".
So you're telling me, like,
Who would you rather date, Prince or Michael Jackson?
Prince.
Neither one.
I had to pick.
I didn't think you.
I-
Prince
neither
is
one.
handsome.
You can't compare Prince to Michael Jackson because of the things that Michael Jackson's done, I feel like.
But
You
we
got to
don't
have
know
someone
that
who
he
has
did
the
that.
same,
I
like,
don't know.
reputation
Purple
as
Rain.
Prince does. If you're going to ask a
Prince
question
was
like that.
smooth, man.
but you know he's like this tall.
I know he was like my size. He was a small dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I haven't met many dudes my size, so it doesn't. I don't know.
Well, I was just
That'd be
mainly
weird.
curious, you know, because I'll be honest, I won't date a girl taller than me. In fact, I was dating this one girl. She was shorter than me, but when she wore heels, it just drove me insane. And I told her, I was like, man, you can't wear heels around me because I want to feel like the man.
You want to feel like the
Really,
powerful
does that-
one.
Feel
Yeah.
bigger.
Like-
yeah.
I just feel
tall are you?
like where I can protect them.
How tall are you?
5'11".
Okay.
But why can't you
Thank you
protect
for
a
being
girl
honest.
that's the same
Well, I still
height
could,
as
so
but it just
honest.
feels
Yeah.
He
to
could've
me
said
it felt
6 foot,
weird.
rounded up.
Like I want, you know, her smaller than me. That's
Yeah,
just me. It just felt weird.
Yeah, I mean,
You
I
know.
definitely thought it felt weird too. But like, you know, when you're not staring in the mirror, you don't notice it as much.
Yeah,
Well-
you can't help that you like them. You know, like
Yeah.
what if you
Yeah.
just met a tall girl that you just vibe out with so much, and like you cannot
And
help
y'all
that you
sit
like
on
them.
that couch and then you stand up and she's like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and you just can't help
be
like
like,
you
"No."
like her so much.
I would be
Yeah.
now.
Imagine she's taller than you and she makes more money than you.
But that doesn't define.
Well,
how-
first of all, to make more money would, in my mentality, oh, she makes more money than me, then I got to make more. That's how I would think. I got to do what I got to do to make more than her.
But-
But
are
I
you gonna
can't do
do?
anything about being tall. I
that
can't
puts
get
you in
taller.
competition with your lady, though.
Yeah, you don't want
Yeah.
to be in competition. You guys are a
Okay,
team.
no, hold on. But if I'm in competition, that competition's going to make us better.
It's going to benefit both
Yeah.
of you. Yeah.
You know,
If
that
it's
will
a
make
healthy
me a
Yes.
better man.
competition.
Yeah, it can be healthy
Yeah.
competition
That's-
for sure.
That's how I would think. I wouldn't be in competition like, oh man, you got to get fired and take a lesser job. It'd be more like, damn, she's up there, man. I got to level up.
Would you respect her for that, or would you feel bitter?
No, I would respect her because I'd be like, okay, well, she did better than me, then I need to do things. Because I'd want to be, I'm going to be honest, I'd want to be more superior, you know? Not in a belittled way, but because I'm a man. Like, I'd want to be the one she can come to. I wouldn't want to be the guy that I have to come to her.
So, like, you feel less
know?
of a man if you were stuck, like, say your car broke down and you were in a bad financial situation. It would make you feel less of a man to go to her for the money because she makes more than you.
Yes,
and
it would.
make
You're
you
damn right.
and
Because
it'd make-
I should be in a position where if that happens, I'm prepared.
Right.
That's just, yeah.
And it'd
Being
make
an
you
adult.
feel more of a man if it was the opposite, where she had to come to you.
Yes,
for
it
money.
would. Because a man should be a provider.
I agree with that.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
I totally agree
I'm
with
not.
that.
I'm not saying I wouldn't ask
Yeah.
her for if I was in a bad.
I think
I
that's
wouldn't
just a
ask her.
natural way to
but
feel.
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
me as a person, I don't want to ever be in that position.
And that comes down
you
to
know?
this boss bitch shit, and I don't agree with it.
I don't
because
either. That's very
I
delusional.
don't
Say
think
about boss
delusional.
women.
It is.
I
I
was waiting for
don't
this.
think
this-
that
yeah.
you know, it's been historically a trend for men to make more money, and why does that have to stop? You know, like before, women didn't even have to go to work; they just cooked, they cleaned. What the fuck? Like, come
Yeah.
on! I'm fucking tired, and I don't understand why all of a sudden we shifted into this boss bitch era. Like,
Here's
It's
what
not
happened.
necessary.
Let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you what happened. This is the
unfortunate.
this is the
Yeah.
Joe Webb
Tired.
the Fourth philosophy. I think that women started not getting the attention from the man that they wanted, and so they started saying, "I got a job." Guys are intimidated. by
they
me because-
became that man.
Yes, and now they think that what they have to render is symmetrical. But dating for men and women, it's not symmetrical. They had the notion since I desire a guy that makes good money and has protection, provider skills, and has his own. I think the man might find me attractive if I have the same thing. But men are like, yeah, I don't want to date myself. I don't need to date a woman that's in charge, and that they thought it was symmetrical.
Well,
So
I think too, men have become less reliable in that sense, and
you're probably right, but then the women have took that and said, okay, and what had happened, they weren't as desirable to the guys that they want. So they want the same guy, like they want all the tall, nice looking, handsome career, the ball player, the rapper, whatever. But the rapper, the ball player, and all these guys of like this got all this status is like, no, I just want feminine and friendly and peaceful and go home. And they're competing with this attitude. When you have to be a boss, it comes with traits that are not
Feminine.
that they don't compliment a guy that has
Right.
any status. So in order to be a boss, you have to be kind of dominant, assertive,
but why
combative.
can't you do both?
You can't
can't.
turn that switch back
It's
off
a
and on.
mentality.
I
Like-
don't think so.
So watch this.
Oh,
what,
no,
what if
it's-
a man? What if a guy said, "Hey, this burglar comes in tonight. My back hurts. You have to defend us."
I will.
It's your turn.
I would.
I would too.
But you would look at the
It's like an
guy.
unlucky day.
But how would that make
I
you
wish
view the
somebody would.
guy that you're with, though? Like, I'm not saying, okay, so you
Oh,
do it,
because-
sure,
how
you
are
I
do
know
it.
I'm going to be the first to
But
action
is
in
that
any
good-
situation like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's just my instinct. And you can't help your first instinct.
You just told me you just said I'm scared of strangers, and you're gonna be the first one to run after a burglar. Come on,
Fight
man.
or flight. I'm
Come
fight.
on.
And it's to my detriment. It's stupid.
So
But
you'd
what
rather
about
have-
the guy? Like,
North Minneapolis, yeah, I would
Yeah.
rather die because I'm a shit talker, because I get scared and I get mad, and I want to fight, even though I'm little. It's like little woman syndrome.
Well,
I think that society has forced women into this boss bitch. Like, they're like, oh,
Because we're
yeah.
scared and we have to defend ourselves against someone.
Well, and because I feel like men are becoming more feminine, and I
Yeah,
think
I
it's
agree with that.
because, and I've read a huge study about this. I mean, women are peeing birth control into the toilets that's getting recycled into our water. The Y chromosome is starting to go extinct. So pretty soon, the man gene is going to be obsolete, which is the fault of our government, letting this stuff go into our water. But like, you can see it. Everyone's like a little femmy these days.
Yeah.
And
Well, the feminization of men is
interesting.
very
Can I add, though,
Because
that
I read a really
so.
interesting article about it.
Well, yeah, and you can kind of see it like in the TikToks
Yeah.
you were sending me. You're like, why are they all so feminine? And I'm like, yeah.
Well, and
Who?
just
And
like
global
the
warming too. But okay, one thing I have to add.
Get
I have to
in
take
the
my
mic
dog
there.
out. Oh, okay. So one of the if we're gonna refer to the Bible, one of the curses that God did on women was to put them below their husband, that their husband would rule over them. So
do you think that was a curse or just order?
no, I think it was a curse because I think maybe you couldn't even tell the difference between Adam and Eve. So
Right.
maybe it really was like Adam and Steve. And then once,
Ooh, you're going into some weird stuff.
I'm not saying it in a gay way.
No.
They may have not had sex at all. They may have not reproduced. There may have been a set number of people there that God created to just live there forever. Like death did not occur. Like
I still
part
don't
of the
believe
curse
death
also was to
occurs.
like curse people and put the like you can see this in actual like DNA. They put the caps on how long you can live. Like cells can only reproduce to a max of 120 years. It says that in the Bible too.
Correct.
Right. So what I'm saying is one of the curses was that women would have pain when they give birth to children. The other one was that even though they would still desire men, that they would be beneath them, that their husbands would rule over them, and that husbands were supposed to love their wives too. But the main thing is that obviously that meant that we used to be equal, or even maybe that women used to lead, because it's like women have intuition for a reason. Women are more
We're
spiritually
the only
connected for a
ones
reason.
that can bring
we bring life
a
into this
spirit
world.
into this earth. You guys
And-
can't do that
And
shit.
think about that.
Can't do it by yourself.
We can't.
Well-
We can
Absolutely
now.
not. But with AI, think about this. Do you think humans created in an artificial womb will have a soul?
Right. That's what we were talking about.
That's interesting.
I watched the. I don't know. Never mind.
But AI is about.
No.
Well, we can
I
go on
don't.
another thing.
So
on
women
that.
Yeah.
are sacred in a way that I think a lot of women feel is not appreciated, just like men don't feel appreciated too. I think it's like we mirror each other in that we're both like missing the points of how we're different and how we can appreciate each other. But like women bring souls into this world that cannot be replicated. There's something so divine,
Divine.
there's something so divine about it that it does need to be in a way worship, not in a way superior, but like we have so much intuition and like natural spiritual gifts that I think we're being overlooked. And I think instead of coming to men in a calm way about it, that's how you get into like the boss bitch, like masculine mentality, because like they're fighting against feeling like unheard and stuff.
What do you guys think is going to happen with this movement of boss babes thing?
I think we're changing from like the whole men leading a family to like, okay, so we're going from like, you can see this in science too, from like binary code to quantum computing. So it goes like, binary code is like it's 1 or a 0. Like quantum computing is like you are allowed to be in a superposition of both of those things being true, which allows you to gain a lot more information a lot more quickly with a lot less. Like they use qubits or whatever instead. But anyway, I don't know. It's not foolproof yet, but we're getting there. So what
And we will get there eventually too.
Sooner than we think. Actually,
Yeah.
Oh,
I think.
yeah. If we're not already doing it already.
Yeah, so I think like same with gender. Like I almost wish that they didn't have a boys and girls section for clothes, because clothes can just be clothes.
Yeah.
Just because a boy wants to wear a skirt doesn't make him a
Right.
girl. Like I was such a tomboy. I wore boy clothes until I was like 11 or 12, and my mom got pissed about it. But it's like until I started caring about
Okay.
like what I wore for boys, maybe.
Would you like it if your man started wearing Lululemon yoga pants?
I mean, it might not be my style, but if they can pull it off, I'm totally for it.
So
I'm
if
for
you're-
whatever style that
Yeah,
people can
I
pull
feel
off.
So
and
if he wants to
express
wear,
themselves.
What if he can't pull it off?
My
Then I'll
man's
tell him. I'll be
wear
like,
a
But-
crop
Not
top.
your shit.
but what happens if a guy starts wearing women clothes? What's the likeliness of him? So we want humanity to move forward, correct? How does humanity move forward with man and woman in unison? Okay, that's how we move forward. That's how we procreate. That's how we have.
I think everything is just trying to separate us.
I think there's going to
into,
be a
like-
new Earth, and it's
I
gonna be a
think
lot
that if we
different.
just look at
A
each
new
other
Earth?
as an
A new
energy and a being, like that's really all we are. We're just in these skin suits for a little bit, and then we transform into a different form of our same energy.
Where did you get that?
That's just how I feel.
I know, but the feelings, I get it, but
I mean, I've experienced myself in a different energy than this. You know, like
psychedelic experiences.
psychedelics
for sure.
really take
Changed
you away from your ego and strip you down to just your energy. And as an energy, time doesn't start, it doesn't end. You are just continuing. And
Yeah.
so, okay.
So we don't really have a purpose to you.
No, we absolutely have a purpose, but I think that our purpose is continuous. I don't think it necessarily ends. And so in physics, energy can't be created or destroyed. So if we are made out of energy and we're energetic beings, how could we die?
Energy can be created, though.
It
That's
can't.
why we
How
have to-
can it?
Look it
How
up.
can it?
Energy
Well,
cannot
actually-
be created or destroyed. It can only transform.
Yeah,
I
yes,
actually
it
agree with
can.
you.
So
What she's saying. Because I think our purpose on Earth.
That's why we have windmills.
So I'll
Well, I'll just say what I think. I think our purpose on Earth is to gain experiences. I've read a bunch of stuff, and they're saying like if the soul comes to Earth, they ask. So I don't know if that's true, but this is what I've read, and it kind of makes sense. Like your soul comes to Earth. You know who your parents are.
You pick it all.
Yeah,
You pick it
should-
all,
like
yeah.
our lifetime is just like a second, because we're like a energy being that, you know, there's reincarnated and stuff
Yeah.
like that. This is just an experience, you know, like I want to,
Yeah.
maybe you want to experience, you know, living in a certain country at a certain time with these certain parents. And you still make choices, but that's all part of the experience. Like,
Okay,
I
so
actually believe
the
it's
law
up
of
to you.
conservation of energy states that energy can neither be created nor destroyed, only converted from one form of energy to another. This means that a system always has the same amount of energy unless it's added from the outside.
That's where like the Big Bang comes from, because it's like everything in existence is made from all of the same stuff, and it seems like it came from all the same space at one time. But they're starting to disprove that actually. But that's where that came. I'm not saying it's true, but that's where that idea came from too.
Yeah, but the Big Bang Theory debunks itself because
It is getting debunked.
Yeah, I don't necessarily believe.
I don't
in the Big
believe
Bang
it either.
Theory.
And it was
Maybe
always
that was somebody pressing a power button.
Well, it was
turning
always
it
a
on.
theory to begin with. People forget about that. Like, it was never like a fact. It was always a theory.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
love
it was
evolution
always
is
a
theory.
theory.
Conspiracy
Yeah.
theory.
Plus
I mean,
Gravity is a theory too, though.
Yeah, and
What?
gravity. They're
Gravity is a
disproving
theory
gravity
too. I don't know if I
in
believe
science
this.
right now too. There's
Well,
they're
gravity
totally
acts
redoing
different under different things,
Yeah, and time, same thing. Like time.
and time is relative. Yes,
So
Well, there's like
and it went in slow.
tons of things I could go into.
It went in
that
slow
I've
motion
looked
at the
into
beginning
about
of
this
time.
stuff.
Apparently,
But
I don't know.
this
if
could
that's
be
true.
That'd
its
be a
own
whole
thing
new
for-
podcast.
That could be its own thing.
We're gonna have a whole season with these two.
Yeah.
on different subjects and
You're
whatnot.
gonna have to pay us.
Yeah, we're literally gonna take half your podcast here, man.
Okay, sounds
Wow.
good.
Sign a prenup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shared custody.
I
Have a
consent.
baby.
I consent.
This is
So when you
consent.
guys hear that boss babe talk, do you guys redirect or do you guys just like don't say nothing?
I don't really know that many people
don't
that talk
really-
about it, and I kind of get a kick out of it.
I think
I'm
it's
gonna let
funny,
people live
too.
how they want, and it's just
Like if
kinda-
you really want to work that hard and do all that bullshit for a
Some
fucking
people
corporation, go for it.
Do you feel
Have-
like it takes away from being a woman and having that divineness that you were talking about, giving a birth to like a human soul? Because I feel like being
It
a boss.
does.
I feel like being a boss bitch and all that stuff. Like
Well, you
you're
can't explore-
you're running away from your true like womanhood
Right.
and like
You can't
your true
explore the
purpose.
things that bring you
yeah.
joy.
Yeah, but what
And your
if you're a
true
woman
purpose in
who's
life because
infertile
you're
anyway?
yeah, because you're doing something
They
that
may
Then
wanna
your
be
purpose
hot.
wasn't to have kids anyway.
right.
Well,
So
I've done studies on this, and a lot of these boss babes, you know,
study
after they
how,
get-
like dating them.
no, like just
Oh.
like research. I read up on them a lot, and seen interviews about like some of these women that were career minded, and then they get around like 35, 36, close to their 40s, and all they did was
They don't
focus
have
on their
anything.
career, and all they did, and if they want to date someone, they're trying to date up. You know, but they're like so high up, it's hard to find someone
Yeah.
to date up.
Yeah.
And then they have this maternal instinct, and they start getting depressed because a lot of them are single because
I haven't
things
met
didn't go their
anyone
way,
like that.
Yeah.
and they didn't like take the time to have a child. You know,
And they regret it later on.
there's a lot of them out there. Like
Yeah.
That you've met.
well, there's like studies, but yeah, I mean, I've met. You can go on dating sites. You'll see a
Yeah.
bunch of them.
Well, I think every girl wants to believe like I'm a boss bitch. You know, I got this shit. I don't need no man.
Yeah.
Hyper
But, like-
independence is
but
out of-
but
it's a
why
defense
but why is it
mechanism.
like that? Like that's where like a lot
I
of
think
the
because
a lot
people
of
have
these
told us that we aren't allowed to be like that, and they've told us that
Yep.
we're not
our
supposed
value
to be like that,
is
and
as
so
a
we
wife or a mom.
automatically want to.
Your
prove you
purpose is
wrong.
to have kids and just stay home at the family.
Mm-hmm.
But like what I think is interesting, what you said, Tad, that like, okay, say you're that CEO, boss, chick, woman, killing it life. You only want to date other CEOs. You only want to date up. Men CEOs, they don't care about looking for another woman
But
CEO.
I think that
Like,
might be the problem.
we
because,
value like different things. Like what I'm saying, like I think if you're that boss chick, you should be okay with like dating someone that who may be underneath you, like financially.
Yeah.
Because guys, we don't give a fuck.
Right.
Like we could
Yeah.
be millionaires and we could date a chick that's working at Burger King.
Yeah, but
You
why
know,
are you
like-
dating her? Because she's working at Burger King.
Because we probably find her
Because
she's
attractive.
hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Yeah, you're not getting
Okay,
ugly
but
bitch from Burger
Well, the
King.
other-
Sorry.
Initially, yes. Like, okay, you're hot. Because
I don't know that new Whopper. That
I don't know.
that incredible
I mean,
Whopper.
yeah.
But let's be honest.
that type of in is worth it.
Let's
But like
let's
my
also
point
look
remains
at
the same though. Like a woman isn't gonna date a guy at Burger King. Like a CEO isn't gonna date underneath, or like a CEO male doesn't care. about-
Yeah.
the other thing is a guy on that level. He has more options than a woman on that level because a lot of
Still
times
harder
the
to-
women are like Doug was saying, they're more picky. But
Mm-hmm.
when a guy's on that level, man, almost any, if a girl knows that, they just have tons of options. They're, a higher percentage, like
I guess I wouldn't know
I feel
necessarily
like
about guys'
men with
options.
money, though, suck. Like, a lot of the times, guys that have money know that they can get any girl, and you're just like, you're sacrificing something more genuine for somebody that has more money, which is never worth it.
Yeah, those girls are using you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and there's a lot
And
of
they're going to
power-
pay for that,
yeah.
too. They're
Yeah.
going to
It's
pay
just a
for
weird
that
power
emotionally.
dynamic.
you
It
know?
is, especially like once you get like,
It's like 50 Shades
once
of
you
Grey
invest
or
like certain
Have you
amount of
dated a
years
rich
into
guy?
it, you're stuck in it.
I've never dated a rich guy. Only broke bitches.
I mean,
Just
no,
kidding.
no, not like super rich. I don't know.
Okay. Have you guys dated older men?
No, I like them young.
She likes him younger than her. Mine have always
What,
been
like
like
18?
maybe a year older than me, around the same age.
26.
What's the age gap though between like you two, like you and your boyfriend? What's been the largest age gap?
So 4 years. My last two
Okay.
boyfriends have been 4 years younger than me.
Okay.
And do you date those guys because you just is
Just
there a
that's
certain
just
reason
who
or
I
that just
ended
what
up
happened?
with.
You, okay.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't really care.
You
so.
weren't looking for it. You just
I
met
just-
someone
yeah.
you happen to vibe with, and they happen to be
Yeah.
younger than you.
Well, I was just asking because you like.
Do you
I
guys
only
get
date
hit on
younger
by
men.
older guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
the time. I think older men are disgusting.
Really?
I don't know.
Why you
Like I
think
But
just,
you're the
Discuss.
opposite though, because most women
I just
value
like that's
older
my
men.
that's my preference. I just like I've never been
No, I'm
interested
just wondering.
in
Are
an
you
older
do you
guy
think
before.
they're discussing because their age or the
Or
way
their
they
body?
look
No,
or
I
how they
just-
act?
The reminder of her dad.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I've just never like met an older guy and been like, oh, I'm into that. You know, like I've always been.
He's got wrinkly skin and hairy
Well,
balls.
but you don't know. Like I'm saying, what if the guy's
I'm sure,
like
like, if-
5 years older than you?
No,
Is
if
he
I met
disgusting?
somebody that was
I think most
aggressive.
girls don't.
Yeah.
I think like you know, if I met somebody that was older and I was single, and it wouldn't be an issue. I don't necessarily give a shit at all about like the age, but I just tend to like a youthful energy because I feel like that keeps me going and keeps
Oh
me
well,
on.
what's this older guy energy? What is that?
I don't
like
know,
that sounds
man.
like age. I don't understand
Go
that.
ahead, sure.
what I think at a deeper.
say
Yeah,
what you
say
think,
it.
but you
Say
gotta
what
say
you
it in the
think.
microphone though.
I think you had like such a strict mom growing up, like strict parenting, that you don't want somebody older than you because you don't want to feel controlled.
Absolutely. There you go. That's exactly what it is.
That was a mic drop.
So you're not submissive.
No.
No.
So you
For
dominate
the right
your
guy, you
relationship.
would be.
No,
No.
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 She. You kind of said it. So
For the right guy.
No.
No.
So what you're saying is you wear
There's
the
no
pants.
right guy, it just
You wear
has
the
to
pants in
change.
your relationship.
Yeah, she
Always.
said that.
Yeah. Always. And
But is
and
that a need?
I
Like,
don't like dominate my boyfriend. Like I'm very, very receptive to like his needs, and but yeah, I don't fuck
That's-
around.
that's
But
awesome.
Like,
are-
don't fuck
yeah.
with me. That's
Are
my
you
theory.
okay with
Yeah.
not wearing the pants though?
I just naturally do.
Let me ask you this: Has a guy ever told you, no, you're not wearing that?
No. Never.
Like, no, you're not behaving that. Like, if you ever, like, what would you do, like, if you farted?
mean, I'm
If you
sure-
farted in public, your man was like, you're not acting like that. Like, you're not embarrassing
I'm like,
me or
say
behaving
that
like that in
again.
front of public.
Say that again to
She'd
me.
beat their ass.
And I don't want to be with you. Like I am going to do whatever I want. I'm going to act however I want. If you don't like it, that's fine.
That's-
I'm going to be
And if
who
he
I
says
am.
Everything you said
and-
ties into the
Okay.
boss.
Hold
But
on.
have you been in a
Whoa, this
position
is-
where someone said that and you're like, that's fine, they just walked away?
Sure, if you
Because
don't
I've
want to
had
like me.
I've had girls tell me shit like that, and I was like, all right.
yeah.
And then they flip out and they're like, why are you walking away from me? Why are you being disrespectful? It's like, hey, you just told me. Like, hey, it's like,
yeah, I mean
I'm just wondering, like, people say things, but like, are you really like that?
I mean, I
Yeah.
left
she
a
is.
relationship that I was very, very involved in after 6 years because of something that I couldn't control. You
Oh, so
know,
you're
a drug addiction.
controlling.
Like you can't
That's
change
not
somebody.
the same thing, though.
So
It's
I
extreme,
have
but-
no fear of losing anybody anymore. Like, you know, if I love my partner who I'm with now, but if he woke up one day and was like, all right, I don't like the things that you're doing and wanted to dip out, like I would be totally fine with that. I don't want you to stay with me because you feel bad for me. And I know I could find another man in a second. I'm not worried about that, but I'd also be really, really grateful for the opportunity to explore being alone also.
So you're an as is. There's no improvement. No, a guy can't alter anything you're doing.
No, not a guy. I can alter what I'm doing. I don't think I'm as is because I'm constantly growing and learning and changing, but I'm as is to somebody else. Like, you can take me or you leave me. I don't give a shit.
So if your guy was like, you're not doing that. I have to lead this relationship and I'm putting my foot down. You're not wearing that to this thing. You would be like, no.
I mean, if I wanted to wear it, I guess I would take that into consideration. Like, what am I wearing? I would take it into consideration. But
Oh, yeah, good.
if he did that shit all the time and was like constantly trying to tell me what I could do, who I could hang out with, that's not freedom in a relationship. That's
different,
control.
That's different.
You said, like, if a guy said something like this and I didn't like it, I'd leave, which I call bullshit because I don't think you'd be like that all the time.
No,
If
not necessarily.
You know, like, because people I don't care if you care about someone and they say, oh, well, I don't want you to do that. And you're like, I don't agree with it.
Well, yeah,
and
obviously
now
I'm
it's
going to like,
you're
be
going to be like, oh, hey, fuck you then. I'll find someone new.
Yeah,
At first you
it's
sound like you
definitely
just do whatever
about
you wanna do.
compromise, but like, am I going to change who I am for somebody?
That's not what we're saying. We're saying
Okay, compromise, absolutely. That's a huge aspect of a relationship. I'll compromise with anybody to the end of the earth.
So for instance, if he's like, yo, I don't want you swearing around my grandma. We're about to meet Granny.
I wouldn't swear around her. But
That's
like,
what I
if it
mean.
was a thing
That-
about
Well,
like
we said I don't
clothes,
want you farting in front of my friends.
I would say I can't help when I fart. I got an active asshole.
But that's
Hurts
what if he
to
says
hold
that?
them
That's
in.
not ladylike though.
But it hurts to
then
hold them in. Why
then
should
I
our
would be
tummies hurt?
pissed. If that was a thing that like
Or what if he said, I can't desire you sexually if you do that?
I
then
would not be
don't.
with him.
Yeah, I wouldn't be with him.
I have sent my boyfriend
Absolutely
pictures
not.
of my poop. If you don't laugh at them, and honestly, they're impressive. So if you can't get with it, I will not be with you. Absolutely not.
Yeah, no. Like,
So
Poop pants.
Yeah, poop pant till I die.
so then what if he said, all right, if you're gonna do that, you're gonna forfeit oral sex now, because there's no way,
I wouldn't be
Oral
like,
sex.
I'm
I
not
don't have to
forfeiting
give it
shit.
anymore.
and you don't receive it either.
I don't like it. So it's okay.
I mean,
That would be
if
weird.
that, it would
because
just
it's like,
be
why
not
don't
the right
you
person. So
appreciate me.
Because guys are very visual.
Yeah.
And
well,
once,
I'll tell you, it has not made the bedroom dead at all. If anything, it enhanced it. Like, you should try
yeah, you
it.
should be comfortable. Like,
Yeah.
you should feel. Why should I be shamed for having a bodily function that I literally can't help?
because it's
Especially
not
an
sexy.
impressive one.
But it's not supposed
it's
to be
impressive.
sexy. It's not meant to be sexy.
What are
I'm
you
just
saying? What do you
being a
mean
literal
impressive?
human.
they're impressive. Would you say mine are impressive?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
guys are
you'd pay
weird.
Her
to see
poops
them.
are impressive. Like when you take.
I'd be like, man,
nice
keep that to
shit-
yourself.
I mean, we don't have to stay on that topic, but
Yeah, I wouldn't, like, if I can't be fully comfortable and I have to hold my farts in, it's not going to work because I
No.
fart all the time.
people poop when they
might
have
have to see a
children.
doctor.
Like, not on
I should
purpose,
see a
but like it
doctor.
comes out at the same time.
I got
so
some
like,
Toms.
Doesn't work. But yeah, like,
Okay,
I,
so do you care that? So does how much value does your mate, or boyfriend, or husband find you attractive and desirable?
I would prefer that, yeah.
Okay, so that's my point.
So,
is
like, here's a weird example. My boyfriend has a way less active asshole than I do. And I've never seen the man shit, never heard him fart. I've never heard him fart in the 2 years we've been dating. And I think that that's fucking weird.
and he shuts the door all the time.
And he shuts the door when he's shitting, which that's fine. I don't care. But like the fact that I'm like, why haven't you farted in front of me? Like, you must not feel comfortable around me.
Yeah.
Like, what?
The
what
first
is
fart's
this?
a big deal in a
yeah,
relationship.
yeah. I feel like that's such
So-
a pivotal moment.
And he just like doesn't need to, I guess. So that, but like, I'm like offended by it. You know, I'm like, well, what? Why are you hiding this from me? Like, if you can't do this in front of me, how am I supposed to be able to feel comfortable in front of you? You know, like we live together. I fart.
He's
you know?
probably like, shut the door.
But like he doesn't care.
No.
He could give a fuck less if I'm farting. But you know, I took a personal offense that he wasn't farting in front of me because I'm like, well,
I would too.
I'd be farting, so I'm gonna need you to start farting because I want to feel more comfortable.
Once you open that door, though, sometimes they do it too much. So
Interesting.
Just be careful what you wish for.
So like, you would do it during sex too?
No.
Absolutely not.
Awful.
So why would you turn it off and on?
You can't turn it off and on, but
You
when you're
can.
having sex, normally your body just doesn't fart because it's like a protective.
Sometimes I'm worried it's going to happen.
Sometimes I worried it's going to happen too, and it has happened before.
And here's why you worry it's going to happen, because you know it's not desirable.
Well, that would be, it would just be like
ruin
embarrassing
the
and
moment a
awkward.
little bit.
So-
It
I've
ruins
had
the moment.
embarrassing and awkward moments before. Like,
But if you can't
And
have,
it-
if you
we
can't be
got past
comfortable with
it.
your woman and
Yeah.
have an
You can get
embarrassing
over it.
sexual encounter, like, then you shouldn't be having sex with her. Because if you can't, have your woman queef in front of you or fart, then what the fuck are you doing? You got to make her feel comfortable in that moment, because we can't control what happens in our bodies.
Sometimes, yeah.
Like, not all the
You
time.
can control a fart.
Not all the
Not
time.
always,
Not
no.
all the time. And a queef,
So it-
absolutely not.
if
So
you have full control, how old are you? 47? I can't believe you have that much control.
yeah,
You're
you just give
very
it a couple
lucky.
years, and you're gonna be
Give it a
farting
couple years.
while you're having sex
Don't
all
trust
the
a fart
time.
at all.
You
No.
might slip a little shit out your ass while you're having sex, and
This is
Haven't you ever?
I know.
Okay,
I was like, this has gone like a
Can,
weird.
can I ask this
weird
question?
subject.
It's really, I don't
Ask it.
like. Okay, have you guys ever done anal?
Yeah.
No.
I've never taken
Yeah.
anal.
Okay.
you've never given
No.
anal.
No,
never
I was
taken
it.
when I,
You've
yeah,
never
I've,
wanted
given,
to
I've
take
never
it.
taken
Okay.
it. I've
Okay,
given
so
it.
that's where
Dangerous
you differ.
territory.
So there's men
Yeah, I
that
can
like
understand
literally
that,
want
like
to do
one.
anal so bad that they don't care that they might get.
Shit on.
yeah.
Right. So I'm saying if that's not your experience, then no wonder that's your. You're a little
But
bit
that
more
just means
conservative
that-
in that
I forgot
respect.
about
Yeah,
that.
that's
Yeah.
totally cool. Yeah.
It's a
there's a lot.
comfortability thing. But if you're
My thing is this. Here's my whole thing. Is that all right? At the end of the day, I want to desire my woman at any time. One woman is my desire,
Right.
And I want to be able to look at her and have an erotic desire at all times. Okay, so that would dilute it. It would
that
not.
seems like really weird for a priest to
I'm not a
want to
priest.
have
I'm not a priest.
or
He's a
pastor
There's a
to have
big
an
difference.
erotic desire all the time for your wife. Like, can't you
What?
just? You said
Yeah,
you
I
wanted
wa-
to have an erotic desire for
I
her
want to
all
find
the
my
time.
wife desirable at all times. Yes, there's nothing wrong with that.
But why is she not desirable? Because she has gas.
Because here's
Like,
why.
maybe she just ate a burrito
Because
and she's.
stinking is
serious.
not sexy. You can't be stinking and sexy. They don't go together.
I don't know.
I mean, but
Stink
you can
and
just.
sexy do not go together at all.
I don't know. I'll fart right now.
But you don't necessarily have to have sex with them while they're farting,
I think
and
you're
that's the
missing-
whole thing about like.
Naturally, you don't want.
But what he's not saying when you're having sex. I think what he's saying, like, if they're like out in public
But
doing
all
whatever, just
women
farting.
fart.
Some
but-
people
so
are
everybody
more
farts.
grossed
Do you
out by
burp
that.
too?
Everybody,
Yeah.
you heard me burp a couple times.
So would you do like that? That's just like, oh man.
You don't like that, like when like it's not even
Oh,
like
no.
when they're doing sex, but like when it's out when a woman is out. Say you're out with your woman and they're in public and they're burping and farting and not acting ladylike. That makes you look at them and
Differently.
see feel like differently, like less desirable and less attractive.
Are you asking me personally?
Yeah.
I like ladies. I
Yeah.
love
What
ladies.
about like
so, but like
you
so
live
burping
with
and
this
farting
woman.
in public isn't
It's
ladylike.
okay,
That-
but
that-
you
that-
live with this woman. Let's say you're at home, you're watching a movie,
You
you're
go
eating
to the
popcorn.
extreme.
She's farting. She's got gas.
That's
She
not
had a bean
extreme.
burrito.
So
I'd be like, why don't you bring your ass to the bathroom? Shit.
so
That's what I would say.
So,
Like
Why would
maybe
you
in
go to
okay,
the
public.
bathroom
you guys
just
are
to
trying.
fart?
Because I want to smell this
not.
funk.
Yes, it's a normal thing. It's a normal thing. It's a normal thing. Humans are gonna do that.
Humans are gross.
I think that
Bodies.
we're taking it into like where it's like, oh yeah, she just farts, and it's like, no, that's disgusting, and that's nasty. That's nasty stuff, and it's like you, I'm the wrong guy to ask that question, but
I'll be blunt. I don't think it's sexy.
It's not sexy.
If you'd be
It
like,
doesn't
and
have to be
know it.
sexy.
Some
know,
guys
It's not
do.
meant to be sexy.
I'll say
I'm
some
not.
guys do.
So like, I'm not
No guy
farting
thinks
so that you
farting
think
is
I'm
sexy.
sexy. Like I'm just farting because I'm a human
No.
being.
You ask him,
And I don't expect my boyfriend to think I'm sexy in that moment, but I know he's going to think I'm sexy 3 minutes later because my ass is fat and I look good. It has nothing to do with the fact that I just shat.
Maybe if that smell disappears,
Well,
he
yeah,
will.
it's
Well, you know,
linger forever.
you take a shower, you know,
Oh,
like
okay,
take a
okay.
shower before you have sex, whatever.
I'm just checking.
But
You might get freaky.
you know, if you
The
rule out
possibility
the
that-
women that fart, you're gonna have nothing left.
I think you're
He's not saying that though.
so it's like people
So
that
you
use the
can't
bathroom.
fart.
So what? Hold
in
on. I
front
think.
of
Yeah, I
Correct
know.
me if I'm wrong. It's not necessarily the farting, but it's not ladylike.
It's not ladylike. Conduct yourself like a lady. I'll conduct myself like a man. I'm not going to turn it off. I'm not going to, like, that's the liberty with being a woman. Women can turn switches off and on to whatever leisure they have. They can just say, you know what, today I'm going to just do crazy stuff, and then tonight I'm just going to be a lady. Men can't do that. Men can't go say, I'm going to wear some bra and panties and some heels, and then tonight I'm going to be 50 Cent.
Bruce Jenner did it. Caitlyn Jenner did it for a long time.
Okay.
What is he right
Outside-
now? Isn't he
yeah.
someone else now?
But men can't normally do that. Men can't turn.
Okay,
a
wait.
switch on.
So to you, is your wife? She's sexy to you all the time.
That's the desire.
She
So-
doesn't fart in front of you.
I'm an understanding guy. I like, you can excuse, but here's the thing.
Like,
I wouldn't be
so-
married to a woman that doesn't want me to desire her and see her like.
Well, for sure, definitely.
So the fact that she doesn't care how I see her, she wouldn't be my wife. So it's an oxymoron.
But why should I expect you to see me differently because I fart in front of you? Or, you know, like, I would expect my boyfriend to give me the same energy after I fart in front of him as
That's
I expect.
disgusting, though. It stinks, though.
It does. It
My
pisses
farts
me
actually
off
don't stink.
sometimes.
It stinks. And
Yeah,
so-
no, it
so-
makes
so-
me
so-
mad.
Yeah.
So here's the thing.
Here,
Here's the
Yeah.
thing. Just knowing, like, if you're very oral, fascinated with your partner, knowing that, and everybody's different. So like when I think of that and like, ooh, I'm restricting my sex life now because of and that's what we're saying.
But that's your choice to be thinking of that in that moment.
Well, you can't help that
I
it affects
think you
you
guys
that
are-
way. I mean,
So you're saying
that's
you're
like a
missing-
preference. That's just a preference.
you're saying
Nobody
that-
wants stinking by their face.
Well, yeah,
okay?
you
I
watch
will
that
tell
shit.
you
Don't
that,
don't
but
put it
because I
stinking
get
in your
mad
face.
sometimes, or yeah.
Why do you get mad?
It's like a
That's rude to do that. Like
Well, because
to make
sometimes,
a
like, it-
stinky. Like you can't do that. That's rude. But
Some
like,
of them
You know,
linger.
but so
It's bad.
all farts stink.
not all of them. Sometimes they
no,
don't.
I feel like
Some
mine
are
does
worse than
stink.
others. Like I'll
They
tell
all
you.
stink. There's no fart that, oh man, that smelled good. I want to wear that on my clothes. Nobody says that.
There's
Come
none
on
that
now.
smell
peaches.
good, but there's some you just don't smell.
There's some you want
Or some that go away right away, but some linger forever, and those are the ones you get pissed off about.
Yeah,
But like
those
you're
are
so
You guys are
pissed,
missing
you're,
the
you're
majority.
pissed off and you're
It
laughing.
stinks.
How it's funny.
Stinking and sexy don't. That's my whole point.
right. So you're not gonna fuck in that moment, but you're both gonna laugh and you're gonna be kind of annoyed
No.
because they fucking smell. But you
It's a
still love 'em.
vulnerability thing.
No.
Yeah,
It's
you
all
still
about
love 'em.
vulnerability.
Yeah,
No,
if you can't
but-
love me at my poop pant, then you don't
Yeah.
deserve me at my.
Right.
Oh god.
I don't know.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That saying is that saying. If you don't love me at my
No.
worst, you don't.
Okay,
worst,
so
you don't
what-
love me
what-
at my best.
so-
That's
so-
just
so-
so.
I said at my
what,
poop
what,
pan,
what if,
that's
what if he
way
pees in
I
the
know,
bed?
I just
He
saying.
pees
I've
in-
had that happen.
I wouldn't date.
I've had that
if he was a
happen.
chronic
Really
bed peer.
drunk.
Wait, what happened?
But like,
What'd
if you
say?
pee in the
They
bed
pee in the bed.
once, who cares? But if you're constantly peeing in the bed, then
What
Then
if it's
some-
when he drinks? Whenever he gets really drunk,
I
he always
had-
wets the bed.
Yeah.
I had
That's the thing.
an ex like that, yeah.
Well,
And
if
it sucked.
he's
And
like-
every time he'd be like, "What? I'm pretty sure that's sweat." And I'm like, I'm like, no, dude.
Smell it.
No, it was because there was so much. It didn't really have much of a smell because it was like the entire bed.
Wow.
And obviously, I
Golden
was
bath.
irritated. But like, what am I gonna do? Like,
okay, but that
never have sex with
directly
them again?
affects you. You know,
And it
like
was
you have to
yucky,
buy
yeah.
a new mattress. Like you gotta,
No,
I
he
gotta
didn't
lay
buy
in
a
that
new
Yeah.
bed.
mattress. That was the
You know, that's
problem.
totally different.
No, it's not. It's something that turns you off.
It's not a turn off though. It's like,
That's not a
You
turn
just,
off.
you just said you'd have to get a new mattress and stuff. If it wasn't, you'd be like, "Yeah,
well,
man,
I'm
come
not
on, let's
shitting
roll
in
around."
the bed though.
Yeah.
You know, it's totally different. You're just
I think what the boys are trying to say, if
Yeah,
if his woman is doing something that's a turnoff and he tells them not to do that, that they should respect that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
disgusting because anything that stinks does not go by my face or in my mouth. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
It's like that's not that.
But then if that is your preference, you shouldn't expect her to leave the room when she's got to fart. Like she should be able to say, "Hey, I'm going to fart. Why don't you get your ass up out of here?"
No, but that's still not ladylike. It's like it's like elegance is something that we
I
don't
grew up
teach
in
anymore.
I grew up in a
That's true.
very, very strict household
Or
where my
manners, like
mom
etiquette.
beat
Elegance.
that shit into my brain. Like, this is ladylike, this is acceptable. And I feel like
didn't learn
that's
any
what's
of
made
that.
me absolutely hate all these societal norms, because we're just conforming to fit in this box that everybody has for us, when I'm just a human being on the fucking rock that's floating in space. Why should somebody else get to tell me when I can fart, who I should be with, what I should look like? Like, why? Why?
No. Some guys gonna love and cherish that. But
No,
the
yeah, for
thing is
sure.
that
Exactly.
that
And that's all a personal preference, you
You know
know?
what you sound like to me? You're the way you are.
Yeah,
'cause
you're
you just
as
want to
is.
be a rebellious.
Yeah,
like
the
you're like
very
I'm just
defiant.
rebelling because that's how I was raised.
I'm
so that's
farting 'cause
my
I'm rebellious.
that's my excuse
Fuck
for
you,
being
Mom.
like that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna show them the rest of my
Can I
life.
be honest, you
know,
you seem like you're just defiant for whatever happened to your childhood.
Yep.
You're just very like, oh, you.
Her mom didn't let her fart.
And I'm not trying to down you. That's just
And
what
me
I
and
see.
him come from a culture where elegance is praised, and that's desirable.
But I think I'm also an extremely elegant.
You can't be. No, you can't be.
You can't.
Come on, you know that's why you like. You know that's.
Yeah.
And you
You
guys
can
are
have
very
manners.
honest.
compared
I
to
have
me.
extremely good manners.
Compared
and
to me-
That's not good manners.
she-
Farting and burping.
I
But she
wouldn't-
wasn't
I
always
don't
like
fart
that.
and burp though in front, like at the dinner table.
You
or
fart
something.
You wouldn't
at this
in front of
table.
your
You do it on a
mom.
podcast in front of thousands.
I didn't yet.
So I'm
I
sure if I was
haven't.
eating a burger, you'd still fart.
Sure.
Yeah,
If I
so
had
that's
to.
not
dinner
elegant.
table.
Not
But
when
you wouldn't
somebody's
know.
Eating. That's like the universal rule. When somebody's eating, please don't do that.
But then, see,
That's
now
bad.
it's like we can't.
People
have
be
a switch
farting
for
all day, all around us, and you don't know the difference.
That's
Oh, I know.
elegant. That's very elegant for a woman to do it, and like, okay, we don't want to, like, for a woman to say, "Oh, I'm gonna blow it up." It's like that's not that. For a woman doing that, that's not elegant at all. That it's like
No.
elegance is something that I desire and praise, and it puts yourself in a different class.
Cleanliness is
Yeah.
next to godliness.
Yeah, here you go preaching now. You're gonna be a pastor. No. So that's
do it.
all we're saying. Like, women can do whatever they want, but at the end of the day, there is a certain guy that's not going to adhere to certain things, or marry, or can have as a companion that does these things. And so women know what they want. Men are saying what they want, but we're having a conflict and we're not believing each other.
I'm saying,
Yeah, go ahead.
sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm saying, like, if that's like the biggest gripe you have with a girl, though, and everything else is perfect, you're not gonna leave for that, because I've been with people who were like, "Ew, that's disgusting."
Yeah.
And by the end of their relationship, I could send them pics, and they could appreciate it. And I mean, it's just like, obviously that's really effing weird, but I promise you, like, I don't know.
What'd you say?
It's another
Appreciate
level
it?
of comfort.
Yeah, it's another level of
I've
comfort.
never been
Tearing down
not
a little
loved
wall.
for the
Yeah.
weird, gross creature that I am.
Yeah.
And if I don't get that, I have like a stranger danger. It's very weird. Maybe there's some deeper psychological issues around it.
I associate like that stuff, farting, feces, that stinks. And
It
I
does.
come from a culture where nothing on a woman is supposed to stink ever. And that's just something that's desirable. I don't think anything on a woman should stink.
What about
at
a
all.
vagina has like an odor or something?
So
That's
It
exactly
depends-
why.
It depends what type of odor,
That's
obviously,
exactly
because
why.
that can indicate
Yeah.
an infection.
Because
for
if
sure.
that stinks everything, I think if
well,
one
yeah, if that's
That's a
yucky,
turn-off.
then no,
Same way with-
you need to go to the doctor.
No. So you guys would say, oh, he better accept that too?
No,
then?
no.
That's not.
No, please tell the
You
woman,
should have,
because they should.
your
be-
asshole should smell good. Your vagina
It should
should
be
smell
clean.
good too. It should be clean.
So how-
But
so-
that has
oh my
nothing to
God.
do with farting.
Okay,
that's,
do you?
does.
That's
how do
presenting
you wipe
yourself.
after you do a number two? Do you just use
do you
toilet
crumble
paper?
or do you fold?
No. Do you use just
Do you
toilet
front wipe
paper?
to back or front to back?
No, I use a wet wipes. And
Okay,
I use.
never mind.
Bidet. Would you use a bidet?
I use a bidet.
Absolutely, if they
I
were
love a bidet.
around, but they're
But
kind of a selfie.
I'm a clean.
Okay, I was
guy.
gonna say.
So just because
that's-
you
Do-
fart though doesn't mean you're unclean.
I'm not saying you don't
It
look.
means you're going. There's that. See.
But you should shower before. I shower before I have
Here's
sex
the thing.
all the time. Just
Here's the
'cause
thing.
It makes me feel
I
great.
shower every
The
time I have
most
a bowel
problem
movement.
about it is not just the act. It's human. We get that as guys.
Yeah.
We get that. But the fact that a woman is announcing that, it's not elegant.
Well, I don't announce it. They announce themselves.
See, but it's like discretion and it's just.
I mean, I
weird.
guess it's just a boundary. It depends on who you are. Like, obviously, you would have a problem with that, and if some woman that you were seeing like won against that, that would be really
That'd be
strange.
that would
of
be
them.
problematic.
That
for
would
you.
be
no
really,
woman
really
has done
strange.
because I like that's not- like I praise femininity and elegance in class. I praise it. I'm the
My
most
boobs are so
complimentary.
elegant.
I mean, I bake bread. I pick flowers. I like
Farting the
do
whole
a lot
time.
of these feminine things. I would say I'm an extremely feminine
She's girly.
person, but I'm also like extremely masculine at the same time. But it just because you're one way doesn't mean that you don't have all these very feminine qualities. Like,
I think it's when, like, you wouldn't say it's feminine to like eat food or drink water or anything else that like is a bodily function that you absolutely have to do. Like,
See,
farting isn't a boy or a girl thing. Everybody
men-
says that.
so-
That's a human thing. That's a human rights issue.
No, but
You're infringing on my human rights.
here, if we sat here and somebody smelled at the table, it would be more reasonable to be like probably one of the guys or.
right.
You can have
I'm pretty
odors can be offensive and it can be
I feel
problematic
like,
in public.
too, though, as our bodies change and we get older, like we smell differently and we have to adapt to like,
Sometimes old people smell.
you know,
Yeah.
like
Not good.
just
I just don't
our
like any
bodies
smells
changing.
on women at all.
Do you like them on men?
Well, I would like a guy that comes to my men's group. He usually smells because he works the labor job.
Okay.
And I'd be like, okay.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm
So
not
that's
into-
okay.
Like you'll give allowances if it makes sense for them to
Yeah.
be smelling at that time.
For a guy, I don't have an erotic desire for a guy.
Oh yeah, I guess.
You
But-
see?
Yeah, yeah,
And so
okay.
like that whole it really dilutes and diminishes that that very
Your
foundation-
desire. Desirability.
the idolized version of the person.
you know what really
It destroys that.
dilates, and what was the other word you said?
diminishes.
Diminishes the relationship you have with somebody is fitting them into a box and expecting them to act a certain way and setting expectations for somebody, a human being that's
They
not
can't live up to
capable
that.
of living up to your expectations.
It's not. I don't think
Especially
it's
as they
that
get
hard
older.
to be elegant and classy and
They slip
like,
out when you get older.
I'm not.
You'll make a mistake,
The
too.
exception doesn't make the rule. I'm saying like you guys are putting the most extreme.
I know, we
circumstance
are,
out
we
there.
are.
Every time it's like the most extreme.
I feel like we're getting pretty
Did
off
someone
topic,
fart
but
now?
Yeah, it
What kind of
smells.
smell?
Might be
It
Bella.
might be Bella.
Could be the dog.
No, but it's like that's
I still
a-
love her.
All
She
right, let's
farts.
change
You
the
go-
subject.
no,
Man,
it's
we've
okay.
been
I
talking
do-
about farting for
Not
like
like
I was
that.
gonna say,
okay,
hour.
yeah.
I do
Please
feel
don't.
like it's getting pretty late here.
Yeah.
It is
It
getting
is
really
10
late.
o'clock
Yeah, I
here.
gotta go.
Yeah, we
to
should
work
probably
Yeah,
tomorrow.
I feel like everyone's checking their phones. I got to work in the morning too here. But this was a good time. And it went a lot longer than I was expecting to. But
Yeah,
that,
we
like
should
in a
do
good
more.
in a good way though.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, no,
I've-
this was fun.
Yeah, because we
El-
could talk
ele-
about
elegance is desirable. That's the.
I think the one thing that
But
I
the
wanna,
thing is I don't want to be desired by
Yeah.
you. So I
No. I've
no, I
seen-
know, but I'm just saying.
You
women
made it
shouldn't
personal
have to
to
fit
you.
No, I'm not taking it personal.
did.
No,
Yeah.
no. I'm just saying like women shouldn't have to fit themselves into a box for a man because if a man doesn't like the way that a woman is, then they're not meant to be together and they just got to find the right person and it's not your preference and my preference is totally doesn't matter because yeah, just
I
have an
agree
open
with
mind.
Holly on that.
Yeah.
I didn't hear what she said.
Come say goodbye in the mic quick before we sign it off. If you're gonna let the dog out.
This was fun.
That was
was.
fun. Thank
This
you.
was super fun.
We
Thank you
we
so
popped
much.
It
some
was
pot-
nasty but fun.
We popped the podcast.
I thought you were supposed to be a
cherries.
feminist. Somebody told me you
He's
were going
not
to
a
be a
feminist.
feminist pastor.
No, he's a
No.
pastor.
Oh,
We're the feminists.
I misunderstood this text.
We
but
didn't get into the
it's-
Madonna horror complex, really.
That's okay.
No, we didn't.
Whatever.
But
A lot
we'll
of
get
stuff we
into
still
it.
need to get into.
I don't
We'll
even
do
know what that
more.
is.
There's a lot of stuff. Is
You guys talking about too much butt cheeks and stuff. Come on now.
Yeah,
That
we got
was-
distracted by the
Butt cheeks
flatulence.
flapping.
Yeah. Clapping.
Clapping and flapping.
Well, anyway, thank you, girls. We all got
Yeah.
Pastor Joe,
Thank
thank you,
you.
brother.
Thank you
Coming
so
on here
much,
as
man.
always, dude. It was a fun time. This
Thank you.
was like a 3-hour-long podcast. Well, probably like 2 hours and 50 minutes.
That's
Thanks
crazy.
for having me.
That's
Thanks
a
for
long
having
time,
me again.
actually. Thank you.
Yeah.
We should
You
get
guys
into
all-
some like sciencey shit
Yeah,
next
we'll-
time.
I'd
We'll
like
get
to
into
do
it
that.
next.
Religion and science.
I'm all for that.
Yeah,
We
I
are.
think it'd be interesting conversation.
We'll get it figured out.
Yeah.
To be continued.
Thank you.
I choose Doug Life. Doug Life chose me. Peace.
Poop pants.